Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. And boy, oh boy, we're ending the year on such a great note with our favorite president, aren't we? And of course, our favorite president is the greatest president of any of our lifetimes, and arguably in the history of the United States. And of course, I'm talking about Donald John Trump. And what I'm going to cover today, this incredible new poll, and I actually have the actual poll. So I'm going to go through the actual poll that shows that Trump has over 50% of support of the American people. And, you know, what makes this poll so important and significant is that this is not a poll of Republicans. It's a poll of everyone, right? Republican, Democrat, everyone. And it's a very left-leaning poll. And after the top of the hour, when the radio show starts, I'm going to go through it and break it down. And this is absolutely amazing because, you know, what I've been telling you guys is that, you know, in the last few months, and certainly in the last every weeks and days, the whole year, but recently when things have really started going with President Trump, the things that President Trump is doing, these are things that are universally good, right? You know, shutting down the drug cartels. Think about it. President Trump has said that illegal drug importation into the country is down over 90%. That is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. And you got to wonder how, you know, who could be opposed to such a thing? Credibly. Well, the Democrats, of course, are opposed to it, but how could you really be against that? And, you know, I haven't seen any reporting, and I've been asking for somebody to do this. I don't have the ability to do this. But these big news outlets do, and I would really like to see what the cost of illegal drugs on the street now are. Cocaine and fentanyl, I guess, are the two big ones. What are the cost of those drugs at the end of 2025 as 2026 comes in? And what were they a year ago? They've shot through the roof because the supply has been cut off between shutting down the southern border and shutting off the cartels. This is amazing. And what President Trump has done, if you think about it, the drug addicts of America that are addicted to the drugs that the cartels are bringing in, there's other addictions, but the addicts that are addicted to those drugs are going through the largest detox and rehabilitation ever in the history of this country. President Trump has put the addicts of America through a very tough love rehab program by shutting down the drug cartels. Who could be against that, right? I mean, that's an absolutely amazing thing. And who would have thought that it was ever possible? And even as he does it, the never-Trumpers, the Democrats, the media, these lunatics continue to oppose what he's doing. Even that idiot, Rand Paul. So, you know, I know he hasn't rid the whole country of drug addiction, but they're getting weaned off the drugs that the cartels bring in because the supply is so short. And what some reporting from the DEA confiscations has showed is that the drugs they've been confiscating and bust in the last few months, last few weeks in particular, that they're a lot less potent because they don't have the chemicals. You know, we shut down the chemical importation for the products need to manufacture fentanyl, okay, and from China. So the drugs that people are buying have a lot less of the drugs in them. I mean, that's amazing, and that's a great thing. And because it's happening it's happening fast, but also kind of in a slow way. You know, the 28 days. The reason a rehab is 28 days is they say it takes 28 days to detox from something, whether it's drugs, cigarettes, whatever it is. 28 days, and so he slowly, by reducing the supply, weaning these addicts off of these hardcore drugs. I mean, I'm so proud of President Trump for that. President Trump, if that's all he did in his second term, would be an amazing and great thing, shutting down the drug cartels and stopping the importation of these illegal drugs to the southern border and by sea and through shipping. That's an amazing thing. Who would have thought it was possible? You know, Democrats over the years, you know what their solution was to illegal drugs? Remember? Do you remember? Legalize them and then tax them. What? Legal? Yeah, sure. If you legalize crime, there's no more crime. You know what I mean? No, that's cooking the books like that police chief from D.C. You know, that's manipulation of crime statistics. What President Trump has done is absolutely amazing, and there's really been no reporting on any of this. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to be on the radio in a couple of minutes. Hold on, I'm just getting from Mike here. All right, we got a couple of minutes until the radio show starts. And today is Friday, kinda, right? It's Wednesday, but it's like Friday because it's a holiday. So usually Friday is open phone, so I'm going to treat this Wednesday like I did last Wednesday on Christmas Eve, since it's New Year's Eve. And it is open phones today, right? Open MAGA Mike Friday, because of it being a holiday, will be today. Although I'm going to be live here on YouTube tomorrow. We'll probably have a best of on the radio tomorrow, okay? So that's what we'll do there. But I will be live on YouTube tomorrow. And then Friday, I'll be live, and on Friday we'll be back live on the radio as well. But so make sure you're subscribed. If you're watching on the live stream with the green wall behind me, to see and hear all the audio sound bites and video and everything that I show, you've got to go to my main live stream. And there's a link to my main live stream in the description of the video if you're watching with the green wall behind me. And of course, it is open phones today because of the holiday. I'm just doing a sound check. And the number to call in is toll free, and it's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. So when it's open phones, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that I bring up, okay? So that's how it works. We got about 90 seconds until we're live. But I'm going to start with the poll. And I know there's some controversy because President Trump said he's really at 64%. And I'm going to tell you what he's talking about and why he's right with that and why he says that. The media, they hate President Trump so much they can't see straight. But that's what I'm going to lead with today. And, of course, Nick Shirley went back to Minnesota. A lot of things are going on with that as well. All right, let's see here. All right, we're going to be live in less than a minute. And then we'll get started. Oh, man, how exciting. 2026 is the year of Trump. We're going to win the midterm, guys, if we get a large voter turnout. So that's going to be a big theme with me all year long, is we need to have a big and massive turnout on Election Day. Primaries too, okay? But in November, for sure, swap them at the polls. We will win the midterms. All right, we got about 20 seconds, so stand by, guys, and the radio show will start. My first coffee of the day. I've really cut back. Stand by. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Welcome, one and all. We have so much to cover. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, today is New Year's Eve, and like last week with Christmas Eve, we do this every year. It's kind of like Friday, although I guess you could make the case that all week has been Friday, but today is kind of like Friday. So even though we are going to be live on Friday, Today, on this Wednesday, New Year's Eve, will be open phones. It will be Open MAGA Mike Friday on this Wednesday, New Year's Eve. So you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to even comment on the topics that Steve and I bring up on the program, although there are a lot of things I am going to bring up, a lot of great news, including a massive new poll that shows President Trump with over 50% support as we end his first year of his second and non-consecutive term. I've got the full poll, which I'm going to go through in a little bit. This is incredible news. But the show prep is up to you guys when it's open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to share this. This is Minnesota's Department of Children's Services speaking out after the Nick Shirley reporting that's gone viral in America about the fraud at the childless child care centers of Minnesota and the Somali community. Listen to this. Again, this is the head of the whole statewide operation in Minnesota.
Each of the facilities mentioned in the video has been visited at least once in the last 6 months as part of our typical licensing process. For the current child care centers that have been named in the video, we have not paused. There isn't a current pause on any of their payments. As we gain more information from the folks that are out visiting today and gathering additional information, that may change. But currently, there is no pause on any of those individual centers.
Oh wow! So so here's the official state government response. Nothing to see here in these childless child care centers. They were visited at least once by officials. Everything is continuing as normal, even though there's not kids. This is insane. Don't believe your lying eyes is what they're trying to tell us. Years ago, Steve, some of you will remember this because it was a very controversial time for Steve Kane and myself, but some of you may be surprised. A number of years ago, Steve Kane and I were both appointed by school board members of the Broward County School Board to the Broward County School Board Diversity Committee. And what the diversity committee was involved in was a lot of ridiculous things, but they would take us as a group from time to time on inspection tours of schools that were in black neighborhoods, extremely low income situations, and we would inspect. We'd go on these inspection tours, and it was such a dog and pony show. They knew we were coming. They had all the kids prepared. They had the teachers prepared. And I remember they took us to this one school, and two things happened. They take us in classrooms when lessons are going on, and we go into this one classroom. They're in the middle of a lecture. It was an elementary school. They're in a middle, not a lecture, a lesson. The teacher finishes with a lesson. And Steve and I are in this diversity committee. We're on different sides of the classroom watching this lesson with the rest of the diversity committee. And school board superintendent and everything is there. It's a big deal. And when she's done, the teacher, who was an older teacher, African-American woman, she says, "All right, kids, do any of you have any questions you want to ask?" And when she said that, Steve and I, our eyes across the room went right to each other because oh my goodness. And then they took us to the library, and when we were walking to the school library for the inspection there, Steve and I were talking about this teacher who seems like a very good teacher, but she's saying ax instead of ask. And this white school board deputy superintendent was talking to us about, the African-American dialect and all this. It was so bizarre. And we get to the library. Steve may remember this. It's been a long time, but this was crazy. They take us to this school library. Now, this was many years ago. It was a beautiful library. It looked like it had just been remodeled. It looked brand new. And it was filled with books. And they have the librarian who's going through all the great work that the library does and everything. And while they're talking, superintendent's there, all these officials, the entire diversity committee, there's like 20, 30, 40 of us, I don't know, Steve and I. And while they're talking about this great work at this inner city elementary school where teachers ask instead of ask questions, they're talking about all the great work that they have and resources in this library that's filled with books. And I walk up to the bookshelves and I start pulling the books off the shelf and looking to see when they were last checked out. These books had not been checked out of the library for 10 or more years. It was like since the early 90s. The first one I picked up hadn't been checked out since like 92, And I'm like, what? And it was book after book had not been checked out in 10 plus years out of the library. And I show it to the superintendent and the librarian. Oh my goodness, they were fumbling. So, so the point of all this is, when they're talking about these childless child care centers and they've been visited and inspected, they know when the inspectors are coming, so they have everything set up to look great, like in North Korea where the restaurants and grocery stores look great, but you go in, there's no food, Just like this inspection tour. They don't inspect like I inspect or Steve Kane would inspect or Donald Trump or Nick Shirley would inspect, all right? And it's a big dog and pony show. And Nick Shirley, I want to say this, and then after the break, I'm going to get into this fantastical new poll that has Trump over 50% support at the end of his first year of this non-consecutive term, and I will break down the poll, and we'll talk and celebrate it. And if you're on hold, stand by. I will go to the phones after the break. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Nick Shirley, you know what Nick Shirley has become in the last 4 or 5 days? He's the new Charlie Kirk, don't you know? When Charlie Kirk was assassinated by these never-Trumpers, all these very self-important, narcissistic, so-called conservative influencers have been fighting one another to take over for Charlie Kirk at Turning Point. Mark Levin and Megyn Kelly, as an example, are in a big fight right now. Ben Shapiro, Benny Johnson, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and then out of nowhere, Nick Shirley does this amazing report. Nick Shirley is the new Charlie Kirk. He's the right age. He's brilliant. He's hardworking. He's broken the biggest news story that's been broken in my lifetime, the largest financial scandal in history. And he is the new Charlie Kirk. You guys agree with that? Nick Shirley? Absolutely. Now, I don't want him to get hired and be working for Turning Point or any other organization. I'd like him to stay independent, but he should be the front man speaking at these Turning Point events, and all these self-important people that I mentioned and the others should be banned from these organizations, except Benny Johnson. He could stick around, but the rest of them need to go. They're poison people. And Nick Shirley has made Candace Owens and Tucker and all the rest of them pretty irrelevant, hasn't he? They look like ridiculous children who are irrelevant. All they talk about are themselves and what people are saying about them. It's ridiculous. It's like Gordon Soley in the Georgia Professional Wrestling interviewing all the wrestlers before and after the matches. Remember those days, Gordon Soley? I miss Gordon Soley. But, that's it. And I don't know if anyone has said this, but I'm saying it. Nick Shirley is the new Charlie Kirk. It's really amazing, isn't it? Absolutely. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our first break. Friendly Tire in Margate is open today. Open today, closed tomorrow, open Friday and Saturday. Stop in. Stop driving around on bald tires. You can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And he has thousands of good used tires in stock as low as $35 a tire. And those are out the door and on the road prices too. Remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance, mount, or dispose of your old tires. The price Friendly might quote you over the phone is the out the door and on the road price. He can get all the name brands you know and love as well, and he can get tires for any type of vehicle. And by the way, that as low as $75 a tire for new tires, that's on common size tires that fit on some of the most common vehicles on the road today. Call Friendly Mike right now. He'll give you a quote over the phone, 954-977-9600. 9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. Now, we're in break on the radio. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, I want to, Annette, is Annette in the chat? Are you watching? Annette sent me an incredible MAGA Christmas basket filled with all kinds of great goodies and MAGA goodies and things like this. And Annette also sent some gift cards, including to Cane's, Raising Cane's, which I love Raising Cane's. And my wife and I, over the weekend, went to Raising Cane's for lunch, courtesy of Annette with this gift certificate. So thanks so much, Annette. It was good. We both had chicken, and the bread they have is spectacular. Oh, my goodness. I appreciate it. And, yeah, you also sent a couple other gift certificates, too, that are going to go to good use, believe me. But thanks so much, Annette, for sending that MAGA basket of goodies. Oh, man. I'm getting hungry right now thinking of Raising Cane's. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be back shortly. We're in a radio station break right now, but I'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now, do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, laportaroofing.com. Peptide research is exploding, and GLP-1 is leading the charge. Across the country, researchers are exploring metabolic, regenerative, and cellular repair models like never before. At MyPurePeptide.com, based in Dallas, Texas, they supply high-purity, lab-verified peptides for controlled research environments. Whether your work involves GLP-1 metabolic studies tied to weight and energy balance, cellular health and modulation models, or tissue repair pathways, MyPurePeptide.com is committed to supporting your research with clarity and consistency. Visit MyPurePeptide.com and use code DALLAS to save 25% on your order for research use only. MyPurePeptide.com. All right, we'll be back. We're still in radio station break here. I'll show you here. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take these calls on the radio. Remember, it is Wednesday, New Year's Eve. I'll be here on YouTube tomorrow. Just YouTube. Won't be on the radio tomorrow. We'll do a best of on the radio. And then on Friday, back here, of course, on YouTube and the radio. And I will have a podcast this afternoon, so keep an eye out for that. So make sure that you subscribe. And if you're new, this is where MAGA comes to talk. The toll-free number to call in is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Toll-free call, no matter where you are. Okay, we got just about a minute, and we'll be back. And I will take these calls to the best of my ability in the order in which they were received. Oh, man, I'm so excited about this new poll. You know, the new poll, I'm going to go over it in a bit. It's over 50% approval rating President Trump has. And that's, it's a liberal-leaning poll, and it's across party lines. It's not just Republicans, right? With Republicans, he's well over 80%, close to 90% approval. But this is all Americans of all backgrounds. That's why it's such a big deal. Especially after this year of crap that the media have been putting him through. All right, we got about 30 seconds, and then we'll be back. I didn't see Annette in the chat, so I hope she heard my thank you. I gave her a shout-out thank you the other day, but I wanted to make sure she heard it. Maybe she doesn't watch live. All right, stand by. All right, we're back live on this New Year's Eve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Patty, I'm calling from Sunrise.
Hey, what's up, Patty in Sunrise?
Okay. First of all, Happy New Year to you and your family, your daughter, your wife, your cousins, everybody.
Thank you,
and
thank
everybody listening. Everybody. The other day I went to DMV, knew my driver's license a year, but I wanted it a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. The important thing is this. I passed the test. Okay. The woman asked me questions, okay? Normal questions like, I don't know, have you been, has your license been revoked in the past year and a half? Okay, I answered all those. It's okay. But then she said, do you want to update your voter's registration?
Oh, my goodness.
And since I have a registration card, I thought to myself, well, why do I need it updated? But I didn't say it, which I should have. And so she put decline. So then I find out that you should agree to it, because once you decline it, now I have to put in for a new voter's registration card in order to vote in the midterms. So of course I called the elections department,
yep.
And they're going to send me a paper. But it's important to know, if anybody has to have their license renewed, to definitely say you want a registration, a voter's registration. I did not know that.
So you would not. So you would have been like unregistered to vote, if you.
No, I was registered when I went there, but when you get you are unregistered to vote.
Insane.
And you ask the question, which is something like, do you want to update your voter's registration? I said no, because I had a registration. I didn't know now.
Oh, wow.
You get canceled out of your voter's registration when you get your new license.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, I haven't gone to the DMV in so long. I lost my license recently, which sucked, and I got a new one, and I did it online, and I lost I had the same driver's license number since I first started driving in high school, and they gave me a new number. I was so pissed. But I haven't gone in person in years to renew a license. I've done it online the last few times.
Well, I wasn't allowed to, because I'm almost 85 and I had to take the vision test, and I did. But I'm just saying, for people this year coming up to the election, just make sure you get your new voter's registration. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Well, that's good advice from Sunrise. All right, appreciate the call. Patty from Sunrise. Good information there. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yes.
Richie.
Hey, Richie.
You know, at 9 o'clock after Brian's show, Patrick Bet David, you know he's got on?
Who?
Nick Shirley.
Oh, good.
I know Nick Shirley. So I know you'll want to see that if you're home. Well, you are home, but you'll probably want to watch it. That's his guest.
Okay.
And it should be very interesting. You said about these people that have investigated. They come down and they've checked these daycare centers, and they're perfectly normal. There's no fraud, and they're continuing to pay the money. These people are either very ignorant or very, very corrupt, and I believe they're corrupt. It's so obvious. They're going to try to cover each other's behind. They all got to go. I don't know about Minnesota saying we're the land of whatever they got to saying. We love everybody. I was listening to somebody this morning. The average, and I want to say this: the average IQ. You know what the average IQ of a Somalian is?
I've heard this. 60. They say 60.
68.
68. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. And yeah.
Jason Whitlock. I heard that on he's on the Blaze.
The first
It's
place I saw that, Loomer posted that a few days ago. That it's 68. Yeah, it's pretty low.
So what do? The politicians import a group of basically, I hate to say this, retarded people, and into the country, and then use them because America feels that, I'm going to say this, black people need all these extra things we have because they're people of color. And this country
this is all, Richie, this is very wrong about this. You know, this is almost like the perfect crime. If Donald Trump had never come down the escalator, let me answer these.
They would get away with it.
They'd get away with it. Listen, I'm going to move on, Richie, because I got a full board. But Happy New Year. This is almost the perfect crime, right? Because these are people who are very tribal, very poor. They've all won the lottery. Don't you understand? They've won the lottery, and they're very happy, and they're very willing to be the front men for this Democrat criminal operation that's going on. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. Happy New Year. And I want to say Happy New Year to Ricky, the bus driver, also. And I don't know. I'm from Ohio, the great Buckeye State.
Mm-hmm.
And it's upsetting what I've seen about Columbus because we're actually a red state. And when I see that stuff, boy, that's so upsetting. I never knew that was going on until all this got exposed.
Well, you know, BLM, during the BLM era, in Trump's first term, they were trashing downtown Columbus. They were walking through Columbus and just trashing everything. BLM. And now we find out the Somalian crime syndicate has been placed there by the Democrats.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't understand. You know, I knew it was getting trashed back in the day when they was tearing down the, the Columbus statue and all that.
Yeah, they took down the statue of Christopher Columbus in Columbus, Ohio, yeah.
Yeah.
Big statue. I used to drive by that statue every day on the way to school.
Is that right?
When I was going to school, in elementary school, I used to drive by it to and from school every day.
Man, that's something. Yeah, I just didn't realize it was the Somalians and all that stuff until. And I'm not trying to be prejudiced or talk about, but that's
what prejudice against what? Criminals?
Well, that I know, but I'm just saying that's what it comes down to. But now that's what we're being called.
See, that's part of their that's part of their shield. The Democrats, when I talk about they had really almost a perfect crime syndicate in place. This is not a Somali operation. This is a Democrat Party operation, and they use the race card to try to get you to back off. Oh, you're racist. Don't call me that.
If you're MAGA, that's what's going to be pulled out on. That card's being pulled every time anyhow. So.
Indeed.
But, I was just so flabbergasted. I could not believe that Columbus was like...
Well, I'm wondering? I'm wondering if there's similar things going on. Remember the Haitians of Springfield that were talked about during the campaign? I wonder if there's similar things going on with the Haitian community, because the Haitian community is very much like the Somali community in that they've come from a non-functioning country that's in anarchy and extreme poverty that we cannot even imagine, and now they're in Springfield, Ohio. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a similar thing going on there.
Actually, that's who I thought you were talking about when you was, like a couple podcasts ago when you brought up Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe you were talking about Springfield and the Haitians, but...
No.
Then I started seeing other things that were coming up. I'm like, oh my goodness, man! I said this has been going on.
That's
I
right.
live about 2.5 hours.
Well, listen, I gotta run for the break, but I appreciate the call. All right, Happy New Year to you. All right, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are live on this New Year's Eve. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this. In demanding careers, confidence is tested every day. But what if how you show up could help you stand stronger? Don't Wear Your Hustle by Ozazi Osa Him Run Win blends real frontline social work experiences with practical lessons on resilience, criticism, and professional identity. This isn't just about fashion. It's about presence, confidence, and surviving pressure without losing yourself. Ideal for social workers, frontline professionals, in high-pressure roles, and students. Available now on Amazon. Search Don't Wear Your Hustle today. On the line, we have Jamie Levac from Swift Tax, who's just joining us on the program today for the first time. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
On the line, we have Jamie Levac from Swift Tax, who's on the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
Well, I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie and bingo, and the next day I had a meeting with him. And the next day, I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he's done straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Wow, that's amazing. Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, we are about a minute away. We're still in radio station break, so if you're on hold, stand by. And today is New Year's Eve. It's Wednesday, but I'm treating it like Friday. So like on Christmas Eve, here on New Year's Eve, I am moving Open MAGA Mike Friday to today. So you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. And the show prep's up to you guys today. The number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. And let me know in the chat. Give me a yes or a no. Do you agree with me that Nick Shirley is the new Charlie Kirk, and that these influencers that have been polluting the stages at Turning Point are irrelevant now? All right, stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. On this New Year's Eve program, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning. Happy New Year, Brian. This is Danielle calling from Michigan.
Well, Danielle, Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
I love your shirt.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to just mention something that I learned yesterday, and it's a little bit ironic, but Nick Shirley was the last live caller on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
What do you mean the last live caller? The last live caller to Charlie Kirk's show?
He was, Andrew said it yesterday. Nick Shirley was on Charlie Kirk's show the day that he was assassinated.
What, was he talking to Charlie, or did they have a fill-in that day because he...
No. He was. I believe he was a call-in on the show because the show was on.
But Charlie, did Charlie host that day, or because he was at the school?
No. Charlie was with Blake.
Oh.
I believe Andrew was on the show. But
Andrew said the story would be better. It'd be a better story if he was the last person to talk with Charlie Kirk on the air. But that's still interesting. Yeah.
True. I thought it was interesting. Charlie's with us. And another comment about Nick Shirley, how wonderful this kid is, or this guy is. Nick Shirleys are going to be popping up everywhere.
Yeah, you see him already.
Nick Shirley that popped. Yeah, they popped up in Columbus. That young guy in Columbus, Ohio, popped up and did the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful thing. I just wanted to say happy
Well, so
New Year.
do you agree? What I was talking about is that I talked about this on my podcast last night too. But I believe Nick Shirley is the new Charlie Kirk. What do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with it, and with what I just told you, him being the last
person on the show, but not the Charlie. Yeah.
It's kind of, hey. But yeah,
well, that's
that's
like the last person to call the Rush Limbaugh program with but he talked to Mark Stein instead of Rush. But it's still an interesting point. You know what I mean?
It's interesting, but Nick Shirley said he's going to do what Charlie, would want him to do.
Which is what? What does that mean?
Tell the truth, show the truth.
Yeah.
Just be out there and show the truth and not be afraid.
The thing about Nick Shirley that he's got to be very careful with is there's going to be a lot of big money people and big companies that are going to try to bring him in now. Like today, he's going to be on Patrick Bet-David, Richie told me, okay? And these companies like The Blaze and The Daily Wire and others are going to try to get him to be a part of their organization, and he should reject that. He needs to be independent from all of that and keep his operation as thin and as trim as possible, because what happens a lot of times with these people, like Candace Owens, I predicted when Candace Owens signed with the Daily Wire, and you can find this show on my YouTube channel. I did a podcast that I got a lot of heat for, got a lot of views. It was very widely listened to, and I got a lot of heat for this. I predicted, because she was doing good work before she went to the Daily Wire. If you remember, I said when Candace Owens goes to the Daily Wire, she will no longer be a MAGA influencer. They have brought her in to destroy her in the work she's doing. And then look what happened. They put her through the Daily Wire washing machine, and she came out a nut. And these organizations are going to try to bring Nick Shirley in. And he needs to. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't go on their shows or speak at Turning Point or something, but he should not partner with any of them or work for any of them. Another thing that happens to a lot of these people when they get big is they grow their organization and start hiring staff. And then what happens is they get overwhelmed financially, and then that gets them to do things that they wouldn't normally do, or makes them go and work for one of these outlets like I mentioned. He needs to keep his operation thin. And when I say that he's the replacement for Charlie Kirk, let me be a little more specific about that. These idiots, you know the names, that have been going to these Turning Point events on stage and causing problems the last couple of months are so irrelevant now that Nick Shirley dropped this on Friday. Nick Shirley is so big right now. He, like Charlie Kirk, he could go into a room of millionaire and billionaire donors, and they would be hanging on his every word, and he could raise $100 million in a room with these guys in a single afternoon for Turning Point. You understand? I mean, he's that big now. And he's the right age to reach the youth. And what you said is right. There's a whole bunch of new Nick Shirleys. There's one guy in Columbus, I might play some of that later, Ohio, who went to some Somali places. There's another guy in Washington State that did what Nick Shirley did in Washington State this week. In the last 48 hours, this stuff has happened. Just dropped yesterday. So when I say he's the new Charlie Kirk, I don't mean that he's just a famous guy in his 20s. There's a lot more that goes into it.
I totally agree with you, and I just pray that he stays independent, doing what he's doing, and his mother, I know, is with him, and he is going to be monumental for the youth of this country and what he's going to do and how he's going to follow with what Charlie has done with the youth in this country.
Well, right now, what's going on right now is the Never Trumpers, the media, and the Democrats are investigating Nick Shirley and his entire family. Now, he's a young guy, so he doesn't have a lot of history. I don't know anything about his background. I did have that article from CNN I covered yesterday that he's a Mormon. They're investigating his family right now. His mother, his father, his grandparents, way back as far as they can find, his cousins, his brothers, sisters, if he has any. I don't know if his parents have been divorced and remarried. They're going through everything, looking to discredit the messenger. And what he and his family are about to go through, it's happening, right? Like, remember what they did to Sarah Palin and her family, right? Or Joe the plumber.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Sarah Palin was announced as the running mate? This freaked out the Democrats. They sent operatives to Alaska with suitcases filled with cash money looking to pay for information to discredit Sarah Palin. Remember? That's what they're doing with Nick Shirley right now. Now, they may not have unleashed them yet because it's the holiday, but they're organizing it right now and will be doing it if they're not already doing it, a major investigation of his entire family. And I don't know. Maybe they're squeaky clean Marines like the Trumps. I don't know, but they're out to destroy him.
Well, I feel they're going to fail. I feel that they're going to totally fail. And I feel with what this young man has just unleashed and uncovered and exposed, just wait until 2026, what he's just broken.
That's right.
And how this is just going to break open.
Mm-hmm.
So God bless him
All
and
right.
his family, and God bless you and your family, and a Happy New Year, Brian.
All right, take care. Happy New Year to all. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Happy New Year, Brian. This is the Major. Listen, I got two quick things I want to bring up. The driver's license, I recently renewed it in Pompano Beach, and you know my age, but I'll bring it up again right away. I'm still in good health and working and so on. But I went to renew my license, and she said, well, how many years do you want to renew it for? And I said, well, how many can I renew it for? She says, well, 7. So I did. 94, and she renewed it to age 100 for me. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
Now, one other story. I wish I could take you for a ride on the C-130 on the skis on that Greenland ice cap, and I hope to hell Trump, one way or another, works it out so we somehow can get Greenland for our own security for the future.
Yeah, I'd rather fly into Greenland on Trump Force One like Don Jr. did, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I want to thank you for one great year of listening and so on. And you're damn right. Vote early, okay? Trump.
That's right. Take care. All right, the Major. Yeah, if you're on hold, hang in there. So after the break, I'm going to go through this new poll. And they're trying to make a controversy because Trump has over 50% support in this new Trafalgar poll. And President Trump said on Truth that his real support is at 64. And they're giving him a lot of grief in the media about this. I'm going to tell you all about the poll. I'm going to break it down, tell you what Trump's doing and talking about, and how stupid people are in the media, that they don't even understand what is happening. If you're on hold, stand by. The number to call in is toll-free 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Since it is it's New Year's Eve, big holiday, we have moved Open MAGA Mike Friday to today. So this New Year's Eve Wednesday is Open MAGA Mike New Year's Eve Wednesday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. The show prep is up to you and the listening audience. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always polite. Never showed any aggravation, or because I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, siegellawgroup.com.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320. All
right, so when we get back from the break, if you're, I'm going to go through this poll, and then I'll take some more calls. So if you're on hold, stand by. We got a couple minutes until we're back. We're still in radio station break. Let me check the time. Okay, we got 2 minutes and we'll be back. But I'm going to take the calls on the air and wait to go through the poll when we're back on the radio because I want the radio listeners to hear it. This is, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. This is absolutely amazing. What's going on with this poll and what Trump did. Now, when the poll is being reported that Trump has over 50% support, Trump says his real support is 64%. And they're attacking him for it. Why do you think Trump said that? I'm going to tell you when we get back. But why do you think Trump said that? Let me know in the chat. But when we get back, I'll tell you why. And I will go over the poll because I do have it. I pulled up the actual poll. Let's see. We got about a minute. And we'll be back. Yep, exactly a minute. Trump knows what he's doing. Trump is always right. He is always right. These people will never understand that. They'll never get it. Never, never, never. All right, 30 seconds. The number to call in is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. It's really hilarious if you think about it. All right, stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. If you're on hold, stand by on this open MAGA mic, open phone New Year's Eve program at 888-465-2631. Okay, so there's a new poll out from the Trafalgar group. Hard word to say. Trafalgar? I don't know. Whatever. And Trump has over 50% support in this poll. And this is not a poll of Republicans. Among Republicans, it's close to 90% approval. But this is a nationwide left-leaning poll across party lines. And he has over 50% support. That is amazing. Over 50% of support across party lines nationwide in a left-leaning poll. And President Trump posted on Truth Social that his support is really 64%. So why do you think he said that? The poll has him over 50% support nationwide across party lines, but President Trump posted on Truth that his support really is over 64%. Why do you think he said that? I'm going to tell you why in a moment. But I pulled up the poll, and the poll was done the day after Christmas and the Saturday after Christmas. They polled 1,098 people, likely general election voters, okay, likely. So that's a scientifically accurate poll. And his approval rating is 50.2%. Disapprove, only 44.6%. So that is an absolute amazing number across party lines. And if you go through the poll, they have the internals. They oversampled liberals by a lot, okay? So you've got this poll, very left-leaning poll. They've got this poll that shows President Trump has 50.2% approval rating across party lines. And I went and pulled up the actual poll from the Trafalgar group. It's online. I posted this on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. So if you go to my X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, you can see all that I'm sharing. They only polled 35.9% Republicans. Think about that. 35.9% of those polled are Republicans. Now, when you look at this breakdown, I know, isn't that crazy? They undersampled Republicans big time. Democrats, 36.5% of those polled were Democrats. So they oversampled Democrats against Republicans. And then no party affiliation or other is 27.6%. So let me do the math here. Let me get out the calculator because I'm really behind on my caffeine, and it'd just be easier if I pulled out the calculator. So they did 36.5% Democrats. Now, this has been my experience, and you will hear this over the years when I take calls. When someone says they're independent, every person that says they're independent, how often are they really a Democrat who's lying? You know how often? Almost 100% of the time. That's it. Okay, but so they polled 36.5% Democrats, only 35.9% Republican, and 27.6% no party affiliation or other. And based on my many years of talking to people who say they're independent, they're always liberal. So I'm going to add that. So 27.8, I'm going to add to the 36.5. That's 64.3% liberal. So the Trafalgar poll has 64.3% liberal, only 35.9% Republican, and Trump still has over a 50% approval rating. In a poll where they oversampled liberals, 64.3% liberal to 35.9% Republican. Isn't that something? And he's still over 50% support in such a biased sample. This is not a scientific poll. That is a hardcore Democrat-leaning poll where they wanted to have a result. So Trump says he has 64%. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay? Look at this. The breakdown on gender of the poll. So they oversampled. Let me write these down because I don't want to forget these and have to add it up every time. I have these super cool notepads that Joe Thomas gave me. So if you go see Joe Thomas, talk to him about annuities, he'll give you some cool notepads that I use a lot. And he has really nice pens that he gives out for free. I grabbed a whole bunch of them because they're so good. Jupiter Joe pens. Okay, so they sampled 64.3% Democrats in the poll. Look at the gender breakdown. Male, 46.5 male, and 53.5 female. So they oversampled women, not as much as by Democrat. This is as left-leaning of a poll that you can get. That's it, you know? 64.3% Democrats, liberals they poll, 35.9% Republican. And this poll, it's still a great story. I mean, it's even a better story that they tried to fix the poll, right? So I know. And has anyone reported this poll properly like I just did? No. Now, the thing, and this is why when I see a story about a poll, I go online and actually pull up the poll and look at it. So when Trump says his support is 64%, if you did a scientific poll, nationwide like this that was proper, yeah, it would be 64% or even higher. They tried to get a result. They did this poll in a way, oversampling liberals like they did, to try to get Trump's approval as low as possible. So for him to come out over 50% with this left-leaning oversampling of liberal poll, could you imagine what his real poll numbers are? Now, again, the actual poll with the internals that I just shared is on my X. You can go there at Brian Craig Show and pull it up and look at it yourself and share it around, okay? Don't just take my word for it. And I'm showing the graphic of it from the poll itself on YouTube. If you watch on YouTube at Brian Craig Show. It's amazing, isn't it? So why did he say that his support is 64%? You know why? This is the reason the poll is getting so much attention outside of conservative news. Fox had it, I have it. I'd have the story anyway. But now all the liberals are talking about the story. And they're trying to discredit it because the poll only says 50.3%. But he said 64%. So Trump has the entire liberal media reporting that his support in this country across party lines is over 50%. A story they would not have reported. Do you think CNN or CBS or NBC or MS Now and all these do you think they would have reported this poll showing Trump's great support over 50% across party lines? If he had not said that, no. Fox would have had it. Newsmax would have had it. I would have had it. Breitbart would have had it. But the left-leaning media are out there promoting how popular Trump is only because their Trump derangement syndrome suffering has blinded them from what they're doing. This is amazing. And it shows you how smart Trump is with his media manipulation. He's able to get the media to dance to his tune whenever he feels like it. This is absolutely amazing. Now, since I'm using Jupiter Joe Thomas's notepad and pen, this is a good time to talk to you about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, he offers free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of. Not just phone, by the way, free consultations. He offers free consultations, which you can take advantage of in person at his office in Jupiter if you'd like, but you can do it over the phone or through Zoom, and you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation no matter where you are located, all right? And call him, talk to him about annuities, tell him your situation, tell him what your goals are. You know, if you want guaranteed income for the rest of your life, tell him how much you need, okay? And he'll put together a custom proposal just for you based on you and the conversation that you have with him. These are not cookie cutter. But from time to time, I like to talk a little bit about his background. Joe Thomas has been in the retirement planning industry as a financial planner for over 30 years, and he's a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top guy in the industry. Talk to him about annuities. He'll tell you how he can protect your money from stock market losses. Stop losing your hard-earned money in all these different investments that go up and down, because with annuities, your nest egg is always safe. And generate income when you're retired for the rest of your life. Give him a call. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com, and you can find his phone number there, jupiterjoe.com. All right, so when we get back from the top of the hour, I'll go back to the phones. I got a lot more to cover as well. It is open phones today. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind, although I have a lot of things I'm going to bring up. I'm going to bring up some new things I haven't touched on when we get back from the top of the hour, okay? But it is open phones today. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on today's program. But I certainly would like to hear your thoughts on the stories I brought up so far, because it so much is going on. And I've been telling you guys over these last couple of weeks, having so much amazing news during the Christmas and New Year's period is unheard of. This is so rare. Usually the entire month of December is a no-news month. That's why Hannity and Mark Levin and all these guys are all on vacation, because it's historically a dead news time. It's not. All right. Well, we got just under a minute left. I want to ask you this question. I saw on social media yesterday that Sean Hannity was in Paris with Ainsley, his girlfriend. And I want to ask you a question about this. They're with their kids from their previous marriage. I saw her really for the first time on Outnumbered a couple weeks ago, and she wears her Christianity on her sleeve. Do good Christian girls hook up with men they're not married to, and second marriages and home wrecking and all that stuff? I don't know. I think Ainsley Earhart is a bit of a phony baloney. Don't you guys? What do you guys think about that? I don't know. Your thoughts on that. I thought she was a little unlikable when I saw her on Outnumbered. I'd never really seen her for more than a sentence or two before. We'll take our break for the top. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after our top-of-the-hour break. Don't go anywhere.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. Discover a city that has captivated the world for centuries in the breathtaking photo travel experience from photographer and author Andrei Vlasov. Istanbul, a city of the world's desire. Available on Amazon. You're invited to see Istanbul as you've never seen it before through hundreds of unfiltered, high-resolution images. This stunning 344-page book captures the soul of the city, from its energy and timeless beauty to its history. There's very little text because the photographs do the talking, revealing Istanbul's architecture and the mystery in vivid detail. Whether you've explored Istanbul in person, dream of visiting someday, or simply appreciate powerful travel photography, this book is a visual journey you'll return to again and again. Perfect for travel lovers, photography enthusiasts, and anyone drawn to the magic of Turkey. Istanbul, a city of the world's desire. From photographer and author Andrei Vlasov. Order your copy today on Amazon and Kindle, hardcover, and free with Kindle Unlimited. All right, we're going to be back in about 90 seconds. And when we get back, if you're on hold, hang in there. I got a couple things I want to bring up when we get back. And then I'll go to the phones. We got just over a minute. Let's see, are we coming back here? Yeah, about 90 seconds. Yep. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, we got 1 minute and we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, it's one of those days, I tell you. New Year's Eve. There were hardly any cars on the road when I went to Starbucks this morning. I gotta say, a lot of people are off today. Are you guys off today, or do you have to work today? And are you working Friday? What's like your schedule? I'll be here live on YouTube Of course, today I'm here, tomorrow and Friday and the weekend. No days off for me. There's too much going on. Too much going on. I'm even going to be live streaming from the cruise this year. So, all right, stand by. Yes, yes. The 7 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ, what's up?
Hey, remember yesterday you were wondering, he wouldn't tell you the answer, why Renee wouldn't tell you why he was in the hospital?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit later, you accidentally, without knowing it, you revealed the reason why he was in the hospital. You said that because of President Trump's policies, drug prices must be much, much more expensive for drug addicts. And so that's probably why he's in the hospital.
Oh, rehab?
He's suffering withdrawal symptoms.
Withdrawal symptoms.
He can't afford drugs, so he's got withdrawal symptoms.
You know, you never know. I don't know. But I know this, PJ. The illegal drugs, we have the largest, President Trump, with what he's doing, the cartels, we have the largest drug rehabilitation program ever put in place in the history of the planet by President Trump right now. People are probably going in withdrawals from their heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl everywhere in our society. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and I wonder, did they get that idea from the program from the toll guy?
Mike Lindell?
Yeah, Mike Lindell. I had a brain freeze there because I haven't had my coffee. Yeah.
What do you mean, the drug rehab?
Mike Lindell has a big drug rehab program for a lot of people too.
Yes, he does.
Understand.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Oh, one other thing. This is unbelievable, and I'll have a video on it later today. But yesterday, were you watching Scott Jennings on CNN yesterday?
I did. Yeah, I might play some of that later. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. He made the CNN crew, especially Abby Phillip, go absolutely berserk when he compared the lieutenant governor with wearing the hijab in Minnesota. He compared her to The Handmaid's Tale, and they all went out of their minds. Well, guess what? That means I was like surprised, very surprised to hear that, because that means that Scott Jennings is a fan of the Dummy Funnies. I had that exact same. In fact, the title of my video was Minnesota Lieutenant Governor goes full Handmaid's Tale. That was last Saturday, so he had to have. I'm positive he saw the Dummy Funnies video.
I would think so, because that's pretty outside the box thinking. You know, I've watched The Handmaid's Tale. I saw the original movie back in the 80s. There was a movie with Robert Duvall and Faye Dunaway. They did a Handmaid's Tale movie. That was it was kind of like a science. I was all into the science fiction, post-apocalyptic stuff, and it kind of fit into that genre. And I saw it, but I saw the entire Handmaid's Tale television series too, every episode of every season, because I like those. I like all those futuristic, post, alt history things. But The Handmaid's Tale really is the liberal lesbians' fantasy of what they would like, what they view the world as. And they're really sick people, the Handmaid's Tale's people.
Well, they are right in a way. It's the Muslim world. If you go to Afghanistan and Iran, they got to wear those ugly robes and everything. So, pretty much that's as close to The Handmaid's Tale as you have. They don't have any rights. Like in Afghanistan,
well,
they can't even go to school.
In The Handmaid's Tale, though, it was Christians. In fact, in one episode of the television series, it's on Hulu, they turned the Washington Monument into a big cross, and they go, that's
pretty weird.
They're liberals.
Hey, well, what's the name of that movie with Faye Dunaway? And
it might be The Handmaid's Tale. Hold on, I'll look it up. If you Google it, it was Faye Dunaway played the wife of Robert Duvall, who's the commander in it. Let me see if I can find it real quick, just on a Google. But I saw that movie when it first came, and it's not a great movie, but it's called The Handmaid's Tale as well. Same title, The Handmaid's Tale.
Well, when Scott Jennings brought it up, you know how Abby Phillips, she goes.
Oh, it's a 1990. It's more recent than I thought. 1990 movie.
Wow. Hey, what's the name of it?
The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, hey, you know what? I gotta find that. Maybe it's on YouTube or something.
Yeah, probably. I saw it when it was new, when it was like first run on cable. I saw it, and back then in '90, it's like made for video. I don't think it was a theatrical release.
Oh, that's interesting. But anyway,
maybe Jennings is watching you.
But that Abby Phillips, she really went. She gets very sermonizing, patronizing kind of, lecturing. She's lecturing Scott Jennings again about bringing up that the lieutenant governor was like out of the Handmaid's Tale.
Did you see the video of the Minneapolis mayor dancing on stage with the Somalians to the Somali music?
No, I saw him. I got to check that out. I did see him trying to eat some Somali food.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked like he was going to gag.
Yeah, he did. It looked like the kind of thing you would eat if you had ingested poison and you want to make your body force a vomit to come on. All right, PJ, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
All right, take care. PJ Gladnick. Yes, he's a good guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug. Happy New Year
Doug.
to you and everybody else. And everybody else who listens in, I hope first of all, thank you for having a great year of broadcasting, and we're looking forward to another great year coming up.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, I heard something. I think that was exactly hit the nail on the head. Somebody said that the Democratic Party is no longer a political party; it's become a mental disorder.
Yeah,
I said that's exactly right. These people. This survey that came out with him over 50%, I'd like to know what it would be if there wasn't the MSNBC and CNN saying lie after lie after lie every damn day. It certainly would be probably 80-90%. Everybody that I know that's not liberal loves President Trump. This is what we got. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do for this next year. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. We're ending 2025. I'm not into doing those end of the year things that people do. Oh, the top this, the top that. That's like those are people that are killing time. So you're not going to hear that from me. However, we have ended the year with two amazing things. One, the exposure by Nick Shirley of the Minnesota fraud, and then this new poll that shows Trump over 50% support across party lines. And if you were listening earlier, I'll do it again. I went through. They oversampled liberals. They polled liberals. 64.3% of those polled are liberal. So they oversampled liberals quite a bit, and still he has over 50% support. That's amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine it behind the scenes when they're all getting together, CNN and NBC. Man, what are we going to do? This guy keeps having favorable approval. How are we going to get him down? How are we going to, I don't know why they want to do that. You would think that everybody would say, America first. He's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. All right. We may not. All right, Doug, I gotta run for a break, but thanks for the call. Happy New Year. If you're on hold, stand by. Today, we have moved Open MAGA Mike Friday to today, since today is a big holiday, New Year's Eve. So you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. The show prep's up to you guys, although I have some news stories I haven't talked about yet that I'm going to cover when we get back. The number is 888-465-2631. I got an email from a listener a couple days ago, and they were asking me about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And they said, well, now, Brian, you lost all the weight you want. Are you still taking pills? And I wrote them back, no, there's no, with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no pills and there's no injections. No pills, no injections, no prescriptions. I'm taking nothing. And I didn't take anything during the weight loss, and now I'm in the maintain phase. I'm taking nothing. You know, with these injections that make people look like Karen Carpenter that all the celebrities take and you see people taking, I'm not a doctor, but from what I've heard, you've got to take those injections forever to keep the weight off. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no pills, no surgery, no injections ever, okay? No. I know, it's amazing. Let this be the year that you actually keep your New Year's resolution and lose weight. You'll be able to do it. It's easy. And keeping it off is just as easy with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Remember, Dr. Zuckerman and Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you no matter where you are located in the United States. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Ever notice how every office has that meeting? The one that could have been an email? Or the coworker who says, just circling back, and suddenly, your whole day, it's gone. If that made you smile, then you need to check out behindthescene.etsy.com. That's BEEHIND. Behindthescene.etsy.com creates funny, relatable office humor t-shirts that say what everyone at work is already thinking, but usually can't say out loud. Perfect for coworkers, your boss, office friends, work-from-home warriors, or anyone who survives meetings, deadlines, and email overload. These shirts make great gifts for birthdays, holidays, office parties, or just because someone needs a laugh at work. So if you've ever survived a Monday, powered through a meeting, or counted down to 5 o'clock, you'll get the joke. Visit behindthescene.etsy.com. That's BEEHIND, thescene.etsy.com. Start shopping right now at behindthescene.etsy.com and bring a little humor back to the office. Do you want healthier chickens, stronger immunity, and rich golden yolked eggs without relying on chemicals? Of course you do, but how do you do it, and where do you even begin? That's easy with the new book from author Mary Butler, The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Nature's Remedies, available on Amazon. Author Mary Butler is a devoted chicken keeper and herbal enthusiast who brings more than a decade of hands-on experience straight to your coop. The Herbal Hen House is a warm, practical guide that shows you how to use safe, effective herbs to support digestion, boost immunity, and improve egg quality, as well as help prevent common flock problems naturally. When you read The Herbal Hen House, you'll discover easy, beginner-friendly herbal remedies, simple DIY blends that you can make at home, as well as clear guidance on what's safe, what to avoid, and how to care for chickens at every stage of life, from chicks to senior hens. Whether you're raising your very first flock or have been tending chickens for years, the Herbal Hen House gives you the confidence to ditch those harsh chemicals and raise healthier, happier chickens the natural way. The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Natural Remedies, from author Mary Butler, is available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Order your copy right now. Your chickens will thank you. All right, we'll be back in less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute, we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. I got to bring up a couple more stories, though. The number is pinned in the live chat. Okay. Yep, less than a minute, about 30, 40 seconds. Oh, man. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Make sure that you are subscribed. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. So, Zohan Mamdani, some big things have already dropped. And one, incredibly disturbing. Now, the first thing is he's going to do something. I don't know if this has been done before. I don't remember it. He's going to be sworn in right after midnight. He's not wasting any time. So, he's going to be sworn in right after midnight tonight. To be mayor, as opposed to waiting until, the morning when they normally do such things. And he's going to be sworn in at an abandoned subway station under City Hall. Guy can't wait. But this is very disturbing. He is appointed to be his legal advisor, an Al-Qaeda attorney. This is insane. You can't make this up, but hey, he's not wasting any time to start his inappropriate governing of New York City. Let me pull this up. You would think he would be on the down low just a little bit, but Zohan Mamdani, this is what you voted for, New York. Listen to this. This is from Fox News. Mamdani taps controversial lawyer who defended Al-Qaeda terrorist for top role. Zohan Mamdani announced yesterday he is appointing controversial lawyer Ramzi Qasim, who defended Al-Qaeda terrorist Ahmed al-Darbi in court as the city's top attorney. He's appointing Qasim as New York's chief counsel, the top legal role in the city. He also shared he's appointing Stephen Banks, a self-proclaimed social justice attorney, as corporation counsel, and Helen Artiga as deputy mayor for Health and Human Services. The Al-Qaeda lawyer, his record includes serving as senior policy advisor for immigration under Biden. He served as lead counsel in Al-Qaeda terrorist al-Darbi's defense. In 2014, al-Darbi pled guilty before a U.S. military commission to conspiracy in connection with an al-Qaeda terrorist plot to bomb a French oil tanker off the coast of Yemen. One civilian was killed in the attack, several others injured. He was convicted of the crime in 2017, and President Trump in his first term had him transferred to Saudi Arabia. So he's got this Muslim attorney who defended al-Qaeda as chief counsel for the city. And this is what you voted for, New York. You've got no one to thank but yourself. This is scary to me. And here we are, 24 years after 9/11. 24 years after September 11th. We have a Muslim mayor being sworn in just after midnight. He appoints as chief counsel an attorney who represented people that are from the organization that gave us ground zero and knocked down the towers. How is this okay? One thing I've wondered, and I haven't seen anything about this, and I've been following this very closely since he's been on the scene. Are there people in New York City that are suffering any type of PTSD over this? With a Muslim mayor and an Al-Qaeda attorney taking over the city of New York, who won the war on terror? Us or Al-Qaeda? If you have an Al-Qaeda attorney as chief counsel with a Muslim mayor, has New York fallen? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is James. I'm from Florida.
All right, Florida.
Hey, listen, man. Yesterday I didn't really get to see you here today, but yesterday, I'm just trying to question, if you have any more merch for sale, because it seems like yesterday you were doing a great job of trying to sell some Trump merch.
Nope, I wasn't selling any Trump merch. I was talking about
promoting it.
I was talking about my wife for Christmas got me a Trump watch.
Yeah, and we should get it, and we should get this Trump watch.
Yeah, because it's an awesome watch. Yeah, I got it. I'm wearing it now. It wasn't an ad. It's just I was just praising my wife for the great Christmas gift she gave me of the Trump watch.
Yeah, it's so crazy. As a president, I'm not even sure he should be out here having that be his priority, right?
Well, hold on a second here. So, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second here. I lost the line there. Okay. Who said it's his priority?
Well, I've seen the merch that the wife was selling, Melania. I see the merch that the president, and I'm just wondering, as a president, how is he even focused on having merch and taking money from the people he's supposed to be putting money in their
He's not taking money. He's not taking money. This is a beautiful watch, the Trump watch. I love it. And it comes in multiple. My wife got it for me in MAGA red, and it has a great image of the president, the fight on the back, and I absolutely love it. And all he did, they have a watch designer design it. They bring the designs to him. He looks at them, picks what he wants, and then he recorded a commercial. There's no big priority in the watch. He's not in the watch business. Yeah.
And then he committed a commercial. Between the Bitcoin and the watches and the hats.
Oh, I own Trump coin too. I bought some of that.
I know. I know when a multimillionaire is scamming the less fortunate.
He's not Trump is not a millionaire. Now. President Trump is not a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
My point better. That makes my point better, right?
Are you familiar with George Washington?
Familiar. That question is rhetorical, but go ahead.
Well, who was he?
The president of the United States.
The first,
which one?
The first
original first president.
The first president.
Of the United States, right?
Okay, when he was president. He still operated Mount Vernon.
Oh, well, a lot of presidents back then also have slaves. So for you to bring up what the first president did, and we are 40-something presidents in, doesn't even make sense. You're smart, but you try to dump other people down.
I'll move it up. Are you familiar with Jimmy Carter?
Oh, he was definitely one of the worst presidents. What, he had, one term? Who cares about any
No. Hold on a second. Hold on. No. I'm bringing it up more close. Jimmy Carter was president of the United States from 76 to 80. And what's he famous for outside of politics? What was he?
Okay, educate me on that one. What was he? He was so irrelevant to me. Go ahead. What was he famous for besides how unfamous he is for presidency?
He was a farmer. He was a peanut farmer. And when he was president, he still owned and operated his peanut farm in Georgia.
Oh, his peanut farm. Did he try to sell peanut shirts, peanut tags?
He was farming and selling. Yeah, he was farming. Now, back in those,
President Carter was 2025.
Yeah, and in fact, his family. Yes. In fact, his family.
Did his wife also make $40 million on Netflix?
Well, Netflix didn't exist in 76. Not only did President Carter own and operate a peanut farm when he was president, his family also had an alcohol product called Billy Beer.
I think Trump has covered that. With all the
that was named after his father, his brother, Billy Carter.
The hotels that he has in Qatar and the plane, he has basically covered your point, which is the president can make money outside of just presidency.
Correct.
Trump has done that 10 times over. I think that's what everybody's saying now.
So what? He's a capitalist. He's got a business. So what?
No, he has a business, but I'll tell you what he does not have. He has no morals, no character.
Mm-hmm.
None. And the country at this state with his name, paper for touching kids, and he's out here milking the
Well, you just made that up.
All at the same time.
Nothing that you said with that's true. But you called in about the watch. I mean, what's your beef with the watch, with the Trump watch?
Let me tell you why I called in to just generalize it. The fact that when I turned to your station yesterday, this watch is so beautiful.
It is a beautiful watch.
It's so nice.
It is a beautiful watch.
And then it gives you the right time.
It is a beautiful watch. It says on the back, on the clasp, it says,
because it makes me get richer. I get Trump richer because it makes me richer, and I negate everybody and everything that I damage in the process.
I don't make any money off the Trump watch.
You voted for.
I don't make any money off the Trump watches. If the president wants to advertise them with, I'm glad. I would like him to advertise them here.
You even made a comment. I hope Trump is watching. Your nose is so brown right now. Your nose has all the doo-doo on it.
What's wrong with being brown? You have something against brown people?
What's wrong with brown?
You mean people that have people that you don't? Oh boy, there we go. First dump of the day, Mike. Oh my goodness, Trump derangement syndrome, right there. We'll be right back. Jeez, what's the problem with the watch? Isn't this a nice watch? See, this is on the clasp. You've got it's got a T. It says 45 and 47. Let's see if you can. I got the glare from the light, so I'm not sure if you can see it. On the back, it's got Trump in the fight, fight, fight. Okay. And then on the front, it says Trump. It's got his autograph on it. I don't know why anybody would get them a color other than red, but the light's reflecting off of it. But it's a beautiful watch. Absolutely. Oh, he got me to wear watches again. That's right. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh my goodness. I mean, how could you be upset with the watch? It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I haven't set the date on it yet. I always have a hard time setting the date on these kind of watches. I'll get it set, but I got the time set. Yeah. That's some hardcore Trump derangement. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go back to the phones when we get back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wish the president would advertise them on the program. Yeah, I'll pull it up on the screen. That's the one I have, right there. Mm-hmm. And this is a great collectible. This is a family heirloom. Less than a minute. We'll be back. Some hardcore Trump derangement. Okay, less than 20 seconds. I think that was a great gift she got me. All right, here we go. All right, we're back. Boy, that was some hardcore Trump derangement before the break, wasn't it? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Ray of Sunrise.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Wait, let me turn this. I get you on the computer. I can't get you on the radio anymore again in Broward. I'm still having trouble with Broward.
I am.
Anyway, all right. I'm going to call myself Ray of Sunrise and transplant from Staten Island because you're getting a lot of Staten Island callers for now for some reason. Maybe they know me. Anyway, I must comment on an earlier caller just a few minutes ago, and he's a regular who should know a lot better. But he incorrectly, you know my pet peeve about Democrat and Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Democratic Party. We have a Republican and a Democrat Party. And in fact, the present Democrat Party is the most undemocratic we have ever had in history. It is anti-democratic and even anti-American. So for the new year, please, everybody, make a resolution. And there's even one of our most famous callers, and you know who he is, a famous cook. Anyway, he occasionally uses Democratic Party too. There is no such thing. So let's make that the New Year's resolution.
Cook? I'm not sure you're talking. All right, you don't want to say.
Even Richie.
Oh, Richie.
I don't want to say.
The bus driver. Okay.
Every once in a while, Richie, the bus driver, says Democratic Party.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do. I mean, I'm on Newsmax all day long, and I hear these people who must know better. I can't believe that they do it. Anyway, I said enough about it, so I hope everybody makes that the resolution. But I want to thank you for all you do all year round. You do a great job, of course. And you're always in my prayers and your family. And I want you to know that I'm also special prayers for Steve and his family. And let's hope he has better health in the new year, too. So
okay.
You're doing a great job, as always, Brian.
Well, thanks so much, Ray, from Sun. All right, take care. We'll talk soon. All right. So, that Trump deranged, upset with the watch. I saw this story today in Mediaite. I forgot about this person, Karl Rove. Karl Rove says Trump has gone way too far. Oh, I misspoke there. Ray's correcting grammar. I'm getting nervous, guys. Karl Rove says Trump has gone way too far, and Americans find the narcissism off-putting. This is called projection from Karl Rove with his ridiculous whiteboard. I almost don't even, they have a picture of him in this article. I almost don't recognize him because he doesn't have the whiteboard in his hand, but he's still got the canned ham face. Karl Rove is an establishment Bush Republican, and he's out of the loop. He's got no juice. No one cares what he says. He's not an insider anymore. And the only people who think that Trump has gone way too far and his narcissism is off-putting, I don't even believe he's a narcissist, but these are just never Trumpers, Trump derangement syndrome sufferers that are either rhinos or Democrats that are desperately looking for a way back in. Yeah, give me a break, Karl Rove. Take your whiteboard and retire. We don't need to hear from you anymore. I mean, this guy, this scandal in Minnesota that we're finding out is nationwide. What a lot of it is why they oppose Trump so much. There's a lot of people like Karl Rove and many in the deep state that don't like Trump because they're out of power. And these are Republicans, right? But a lot of it is he's upsetting their financial scams that they've gone on. This thing in Minnesota, as big as it is not even the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg to how much fraud and corruption is going on in the federal government. What we found out from USAID is most of what the government is involved in is some type of financial fraud that they're all getting rich off of. I mean, look at Ilhan Omar. She comes into Congress a couple years ago. She's one of the poorest members in Congress. Now she's one of the richest. Look at, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's gone just full rejection of President Trump and MAGA. She's been posting photographs and videos of herself for a week with Brian Glenn and her kids at her Costa Rica beach house, walking around in a bikini. Have any of you seen this with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Enough of the bikini, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, my goodness. I just, I went through my Instagram yet. Do you guys follow me on Instagram? You should. Brian Craig Show on Instagram. And I went through who I was following on Instagram, and I hadn't checked who I'm following on Instagram. But I did it because I keep seeing Marjorie Taylor Greene in a bikini at her Costa Rica beach house with Brian Glenn and her kids, and I was following her on Instagram. So I unfollowed Marjorie Taylor Greene on Instagram. I got to go through my other socials and make sure I'm not following her there. And I'm watching her. She should not be parading around in a two-piece bikini, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, my goodness. Have any of you seen any of these pictures and videos she keeps posting? But she thinks she looks hot. She came to Congress. She's made $25 million in the last 5 years while in Congress, a lot of it from the ways that the rest of the members of Congress make deals, right? You know, we've talked about this when she left. And she's shoving it in everyone's face. And, you know, the question is, why did she really leave MAGA and betray Trump and the entire movement and all of us who support her? Did she leave because Trump's not doing enough and she's fed up? Did she leave because he's not taking her calls 3 times a day, as the president and Susie Wiles have said? Or did she leave for the $25 million in the house on the beach in Costa Rica? Right? Which do you think it is? And I've unfollowed her on Instagram. I'll go through my X and let me see if I'm following her on X while I'm thinking about it. Because I don't want to follow Marjorie Taylor Greene anywhere. I am so fed up with her. And I certainly don't want to see any more photographs or video. Yeah, no, I did unfollow her already on X. I probably unfollowed her when she first betrayed President Trump. And, you know, David Limbaugh, Rush's brother, was commenting on her 180. You know, there's a lot of liberals who get red-pilled and become conservative, no doubt about it. Very, very few Republicans do 180s like she's done. How can you do a complete 180? If you're truly MAGA, how can you really, truly do a 180? And reject everything that's so important because you claim to have a personality conflict with the president. It's impossible. It's completely impossible. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Michael from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Brian, what kind of color watch is the Trump watch? You said you got red. What other colors are there?
I see a black one. A gold. I see black and gold. Those are the only other two I see.
So it's red, black, or gold?
Well, I'm looking at the website, but I like the red. MAGA red is the one that I would think would be the most popular. And it's so beautiful.
And can you get that at Amazon.com?
No, he's got to, this is not a paid advertisement for the Trump watches. I want to tell you guys. Although, if anyone at Mar-a-Lago was listening, they should advertise here on our radio station because I'm wearing the watch. My wife got it for me for Christmas. And I haven't worn a watch in years. I have an Apple Watch. I have a couple Apple Watches. I never wear them, but I haven't taken off this Trump watch. So I had to, the day after Christmas, I had to go to the jeweler and have it resized. The band, I had to have a couple links taken out. And since I got the links taken out, I haven't taken it off. No, go to gettrumpwatches.com. Gettrumpwatches.com. And you can buy them there.
Okay, great. Thanks. Happy New Year to you, Brian.
All right. Happy New Year to you. I mean, here, are you listening, Mr. President? I'm selling watches. Advertise on our radio station. It's really, the thing is, what these never Trumpers, like that Trump derangement syndrome caller, what they don't get, in the ad that you've heard the president do for the Trump watches, he says, everyone will know what it is and what it stands for. And here we are in this midterm election season. It is so important to get out your Trump gear, wear your MAGA hats, wear your Trump watches if you got one. If you don't get them, get one, and let people know how many of us there are. Don't let them silence us and have us live in hiding. Be proud that you're MAGA. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Steve. It's Leslie in West Palm Beach. How are you?
All right, Leslie. It's Brian. Steve hasn't joined us yet, but that's okay. I've been called worse.
Sorry. Forgive me. Of course, Brian. Yes. So, I hope you're enjoying this 45-degree weather.
Oh my goodness, no! I'm inside now, but before I left before I left the house this morning, I turned the car on and I turned the heat on in my car to full blast. I turned the seat heater on. I got a heater on the steering wheel. I turned that on. So when I got in the car, it was nice and toasty. This sucks, this weather. Oh, my goodness.
So on the same note of, it's a little bit of a political topic, but I'm a caretaker to 8 beautiful cats outside who I got all fixed, shots. I care for them every day. I check on them. I've placed so many in homes. I've been here 5 years since the pandemic. It's such a crisis here. So my topic in question is, our president lives in this county. We had talked about the homeless, but listen, the abandoned cat issue is so bad here. So there's such a big group of us going out every day, taking them to death, and we're picking up the cost of everything.
Yeah.
I'm feeding 11 cats every day to make sure they're okay, but this is human error. So here's my suggestion, Brian. Why don't we have a task force that's created to round up all these animals? You have cats. A female cat can have 140 kittens in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So we need some help. You know, I'm expending about $400 a month. Flea medication, cedar chips.
Well, maybe what we can do is we can bring in some Democrats. Democrats, they got a good plan to bring down birth rates. Maybe they can bring in this idea that cats can become transgender, and they won't be having reproductive sex so much, and that could reduce the population, like they've done with the humans.
Yeah. Really, if they want to campaign something, why don't they campaign that?
You know, I've got a group of stray cats that I feed to, my wife and I, and a few. And you know what I call them? Our stray cats? The migrants. I call them the migrants. You know.
Yeah.
But they're
yeah,
the cat
it
population.
exploded in the early '90s here with the whole Latino population.
Really? What? How are the Latinos? We've always had strayed cats.
True.
I don't know if I'd blame that, but is there a way that we can bring the transgenderhood into the stray cats, and what can we do? That'll stop all the kittens.
Let's circle it all together. Yeah. Or instead of all the whining Democrats, why don't you do something? Get together as a task force. But really, you know, the president lives here. I would love him to hear this. To please, you know, the homeless and the cats. Homeless come up to me and I say to them, I'm taking care of animals. They can't take care of themselves.
Yeah, they do. I know, they're babies. No, I agree with you. I'm a big charitable guy when it comes to our stray animals and things like that. I know.
Yeah.
All of my pets are rescue. All my cats are rescue animals, and I do take care of strays and everything else too. It's just what we do.
I just took one off the street.
It's the Lord's work.
He's in my house.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen. You know, I hope Brian something can come up.
Yeah.
This being on the air.
Well, next time I talk to the president, I'll bring up the cat problem. All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right. All right. Let me see here.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, we got a couple minutes and we'll be back. Oh, man, if you're on hold, stand by. It doesn't feel like a holiday to me. I guess because, The days all blend together, don't they? As you get older, I'm just, how many of you, give me yes or no, will you stay up to watch the new year come in? I'll be asleep hours before, probably. I never stay up. Yes or no? You going to stay up? It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. Really? Yeah. Let's see. Yeses or nos? Are you going to stay up? Not me. I used to, but it's just not a big deal to me anymore. Just not a big deal anymore. I love cats. I love cats. I've got 4. Well, one of them was my daughter's that I've taken on, and they're all rescue. Okay, we got a minute. We'll be back.
Morning.
Hey, it's Brian. I'm going to put you on hold. We're less than a minute. I'll be back with you. We'll be on the air, okay?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, we got about 40 seconds and we'll be back. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Are you going to go to church on New Year's? Oh, okay. I've heard of midnight mass on Christmas Eve for Christmas, but I didn't know people went to church on New Year's. I did not know that. All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with George Colony, our real estate guy. George Colony, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you as well.
Absolutely. I was talking with someone that is planning on selling their house next year. They're going to call you. And they're really, they got one big issue, and that is prepping their house before they list it. They have a garage, like many Floridians, that has everything in it but cars. And when it comes to prepping your house to list it, what do people have to do?
Well, I think there's 2 schools of thought on that. It really is an individual thing that we'd have to look at. But, one school of thought is don't do anything, and you'll attract other people that feel that they want to make it into the home that they want. For example, I did this once. I changed the floor out, and the people came in and didn't like what I picked out.
Yeah.
And they wanted to put their own in. So you've got to be careful with that. The other one is to make it look as well as you can, because people make a decision not to buy a home in under 8 seconds. They don't make a decision to buy a home that quick. But when they see something and they don't like it, whether it's the street, the location, the house, you might be losing people simply because it's that visual that they see, and people are very visual.
One thing I wonder about, a lot of times when people are going to sell their home, one of the things they do is they put in a whole new kitchen. They don't put in the new kitchen while they live there. They put in a new kitchen when they're getting ready to move out. And what you said is interesting, because the people coming in looking may not like the cabinets you picked.
Right. It's it's not easy. I think there are some realtors out there that understand this and that can be very good. I think there's some that don't really have the experience yet. But when you're selling your home, one of the things that I see people do is they say, well, let's raise the price up on the home so you've got room to negotiate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my attitude is if I do that and people are searching online for a home, and let's say I raise my house from $600,000 to $700,000 because I want to negotiate, and they're only looking to $600,000, I lose a lot of people. So I try to list a home exactly
for what they would sell it for what the comps show that it's really worth. And I don't really want to have to negotiate a price down, because I think that is a really bad way to sell anything. Raise the price up so I can negotiate it. How does that make sense?
You put it for the right price and you stand firm, and you're better off.
I think so.
Yeah. Another thing too, it's an interesting thing you do, because, I bought my house over 20 years ago, and the person actually had it lower than what other houses were going in the neighborhood. And then what happened? There were a couple of us making bids on the house. We were competing for the house then, and it went up.
Yep.
The negotiation went the other way, and I paid a little bit more than what the listing was for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's some good advice.
Negotiation right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of negotiation you want, where you're going up, not down.
I want to say one more thing, Brian, before we cut out. Today is a day kind of for reflection. It's my son's 30th birthday today, George the 4th, and it was my mother died 40 years ago today.
Holy smokes.
And one of the things that are the most important to all of us are our family and our friends. And, this is a really good day to think about the last year, what's coming in the next year, make our resolutions. And if any of those include making a change in your lifestyle and in your home and your business and your building, give me a call, because I'd love to talk to you. It doesn't mean you have to ever see me. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, I think I can help.
Yeah, and you can tell by the conversations that I have with George Colony, guys, that you go about real estate, every aspect of it, in a much different way than I've ever heard any other real estates talk, like this conversation we had about prepping the home. Okay, give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, have a very happy new year, and we'll talk next week.
Happy New Year.
All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Steve will be joining us after the top of the hour break. And after the top of the hour, we'll be bringing up some things. But I want to review. Do I have enough time? Yeah, I got enough time. I want to review this before we go into the top. This is an amazing thing. So there's this new poll out. You've seen it. President Trump has over 50% approval rating right now. His approval rating is over 50%. And this isn't an approval rating by Republicans. It's across party lines. But his approval is really much higher than that. I pulled up the actual poll, and they to say that they oversampled liberals is an understatement, okay? So President Trump, his approval rating is 50.2%. 50.2%. Well, listen to this. This is the Trafalgar poll. Those who were polled are 35.9% Republican. Democrats, 36.5% Democrats polled. So they oversampled Democrat versus Republican. And then no party affiliation or other, which are independents, 27.6 of those polled. 27.6% of those polled are no party affiliation or independents. And you guys know, and he's got 50.2% approval with that sample. And you know, when somebody calls me on this program and they say that they're not a Democrat, they're not Republican, they're not affiliated with any party, or they're independent, are they not always a liberal? Exactly. So, in fact, President Trump in the Trafalgar poll has a 50.3% approval, but they polled 64.3% of liberals. 64.3% of those who polled are liberals. And Trump still has over a 50% approval rating when they oversample liberals by that much. That is absolutely amazing. And when I saw this story, anytime I see a story about, I know, huh? Has anybody else broken down the poll like this? I don't think so. Other than me? Whenever I see a major story about polls, I always go and pull up the poll and look at who they sampled. every time. This is a very left-leaning poll. It doesn't get more left-leaning than polling 64.3% liberals, and Trump still has a 50.3% approval rating. That tells you how popular he is, contrary to what Karl Rove claims in his ridiculous statement. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. That's right. My name is Brian Craig. Now, since today's a big holiday, New Year's Eve, and we're here live, we're moving Open MAGA Mike Friday to today. Today is Open Phones, Open MAGA Mike, New Year's Eve. You're welcome to call in today about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that Steve or I bring up. The number is toll-free no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. Have you ever heard me talk to a non-party affiliated independent that wasn't a Democrat, wasn't a lying liberal on the line? I don't remember that. All right, we got 1 hour to go. It is our New Year's show, Open Phone. Steve will be joining us after the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break. Stay tuned. Exactly. Give me a break. What a bunch of BS. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. On the line, we have one of our listeners, Jeff. He heard me talking with George Colony recently, our real estate guy here on the program, about how he can turn renters into property owners. And he gave George Colony a call, and they met. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, Brian, thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell me what prompted you to call George Colony, and then tell me how the meeting went.
I've been looking forever for a property to buy, and I've had all kinds of issues come up, and I really needed someone who had that professional experience to help me overcome all the different issues that are likely when you're trying to buy a house. And so I went to meet him, and I was totally impressed with his brain power and his ability to solve problems. He gave me lots of good ideas to help get me through into a house and become an owner. Real estate can be a hardy headache for sellers. It's really a complicated process, and you really need someone who's an expert and a problem solver. So if you're selling your house, you need to know the agent that you can trust and that he has the brain power to figure out the problems that typically arise in every settlement. And I met George Colony myself. I personally interviewed him. He's really good at helping buyers and sellers. He's going to help me buy a house, so I'm really excited to highly recommend him for all the listeners of the show. He gave me 2 great projects to get myself into a house and become an owner as opposed to just a renter.
That's absolutely amazing, Jeff. And, you know, George Colony can turn you who are renters into owners. And you know what? He can do it with you paying less every month than you're paying in rent. Give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text just like Jeff did. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
All right, 10 seconds. Stand by.
Hope you got something good.
I've always got something good. We're back on the air. And as Steve's like, so Hold on a second. Steve's broadcasting that, you know, you don't see, there's lots going on in the news, but let's take a call or two, and then I'll recap what I ended the last hour with, because it's the big story of the day, and only here on the Steve Kane Show is it being reported properly. You want to take a call or two before I bring up this stuff?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Ricky Rivera, and I'm calling from Texas.
All right. Ricky in Texas. What's on your mind,
That's
Ricky
right.
in Texas?
Well, I actually do a podcast called The Ricky Report. We're a conservative outlet, and I was catching yours while we were getting ready for our New Year's podcast, and I just want to say you're doing a great job over there, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've never heard of you before, and I mean, you know, did you have anything to say other than to promote your podcast that I'm not familiar with?
Yeah, definitely. I think what's going on in Minnesota is pretty wild. I mean, it's
wild.
It's been going on for years, and the fact that they're cracking down now. I mean, Cash Patel said that they've been looking into it for quite some time before this went just explosive.
That's some outside the box thinking. So that's what you get on the Ricky Rivera show. Just matter of fact stuff that everybody. All right, take care. Oh my goodness. The day that I have to call other shows to try to get free promotion.
Don't be cruel.
Yeah, I know. You know, my podcast.
We're all brothers. We podcasters and talk shows.
Well, you know, let me tell you, because some of you guys may think I'm too harsh on people when they're call in to promote themselves. There's two things. One, people pay to advertise on this program, and another thing about it is that before you hear someone advertising on this program, Steve or me or both of us have used them in almost every single instance. One of us have, or even both. You know, so we vet people before we send people to go to a business or anything, right? So no free promotion. That's number one. And number two, we got to check things out before we recommend them to you guys. And
even on New Year's Eve,
even on Christmas morning, Steve. You know, I'm gonna give you guys an example. And I will tell you if you don't remember, Steve, because this was not a memorable moment. But I give you guys an example. There was a restaurant that was interested in advertising. You and I went there and ate lunch, and you said no. You said the food was not edible, and that if we advertised this restaurant, people would come here and that'd be it. You know, you can't the food was too bad, and you turned them down. There's been some other instances too. You know, so you ever hear about these authors? There was some author, I don't remember who it was. He would never write about something in his book that he hadn't experienced. Like he wouldn't write about a dinner in a restaurant if he hadn't eaten it, or a location that he hadn't visited. Well, that's how it goes with us on the advertising. So, you know, we got to vet things before we share them with you. All right. I'm not a gift giving person. And you got to be careful. Who knows? He could be some liberal guy. All right, let's go. Take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, my name's Bill. I live in Old Northwood, West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right, West Palm, what's up?
All right, I was on my way to work, and you mentioned to wear your mega gear. I got a hat in the mail on my birthday with a snowball with Washington, D.C. in it, with his autographs on that also, and he autographed the hat.
That's awesome.
Donald Trump.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so he sent me a letter to my family and everything else. It was pretty awesome. So when you mentioned wear your mega gear, I went home and grabbed my hat.
That's good. That's good. Now I do
very good.
I do take it off sometimes, depending on where I'm at. As an example, when I go to Starbucks, I don't wear my MAGA gear. I had some bad experiences with that. There was one Starbucks I was going to where the barista was a transgendered person, and they were always out of the coffee that I ordered. Always. No matter what. They were always out of it. every time I went. And then there was another one. I mean, I can't prove this because I didn't do any lab testing, but they were giving me decaf. I could tell because I would get the caffeine withdrawals no matter what. You know what I mean? So I go to multiple Starbuckses now, and I'm undercover MAGA when I go. I leave my hat in the car. And if I'm wearing, like I went to Starbucks this morning, I'm wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. I wore a jacket and I zipped it up because I don't want any more decaf. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful. Although Starbucks workers, there's no tax on their tips anymore. So, and you know what they do at Starbucks? Because I asked them about this. I was talking to the Starbucks manager at one of the Starbuckses. They collect their tips for the whole week. And then at the end of the week, they distribute them to all the workers based on a mixture of the shifts they work and the hours they work. So the tips add up after a whole week. And then the company, disperses them. So now they're going to have no taxes on tips. So these Starbucks baristas, maybe they'll become MAGA. I don't know. Maybe not that transgendered one that was always out of the coffee. No matter what I ordered, they were out of it. Can you believe it? It was amazing. People coming in, getting coffee. But the one I would order, no matter what, it was out of stock, with that particular barista. All right. No, so I really broke a big story. I ended the last hour with it, but I want to bring it up to you again. There's a major story out there today that President Trump has over a 50% approval rating. Have you heard the story?
No.
Oh, yeah. It's the lead story everywhere today. I guess New Year's Eve celebrations have begun early at the Kane household. But it's the lead.
No, I just glanced. I perused the post.
Oh, the post. Okay.
I didn't see it on the post.
Yeah, there's a new poll, and even President Trump has commented on this. It broke yesterday, late in the day, and it's the lead story most everywhere that President Trump has a greater than 50% approval rating across party lines. Right? I mean, this was a poll across party lines, which is amazing. He has a.
What is the name of the poll?
It's the Trafalgar poll, and they're going to be talking about it all day. But I found something out about the poll that no one has reported on except me, which I'm going to go over now. So the results of the poll: President Trump's approval rating is 50.2%. His disapproval is 44.6%. But it's across party lines. Among Republicans, his approval rating is almost 90%. So anytime there's a poll that is in all the headlines, I always go and pull up the poll and look at who they polled. It's called the internals. I go and look at who the sample. Right. And I pulled this up. This amazes me, Steve. Listen to this. So now the poll's we got a good result, right? His approval rating is over 50% nationwide across party lines. So
pretty impressive on the look of it.
Yeah, but his support really is much higher. Look who they polled. Republicans, 35.9% of those polled are Republicans. 36.5% of those polled are Democrats. So they oversampled Democrats right out the box. 27.6% of those polled identify as independent or no party affiliation. And from my experience, and I think it's your experience too, right? When we're talking to a caller who says that they're independent, they're always an independently liberal-minded person, aren't they? When there's a no-party-affiliated caller on the line, almost every single one of them is a liberal, a lying liberal who's really a Democrat.
Yes, I said that's true.
So when you add up this poll that has Trump at over a 50% approval rating, the polling sample is 64.3% liberal. So they post 64.3% liberal, 35.9% Republican, and even with an over 64% liberals, he's got a 50.3% approval rating. That's amazing. I mean,
I would say it looks very promising.
Oh, my goodness.
If you look at what's going on in the news, it figures.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, the Democrats have self-destructed in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
With the scandal, it's just destroyed them.
Yeah. Now, we're going to take a break. I'm not going to tell you what this is on the air. I'll call you over the weekend. By the way, we're going to be live on Friday, guys, on the radio. So make sure you tune in on Friday. We're going to be back live. You're going to be with me on Friday, Steve? Because tomorrow's Thursday is the 1st.
I'll check with my producer, see what my schedule says.
Okay, but I got a new piece of equipment for the show. I'll tell you about off the air. I don't want to tell people on the air.
Okay.
but I've been meaning to tell you about it. All right, now I want to talk about Sloman's Home Security. They have an incredible offer. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month, and you're locked in for 5 years. That's absolutely amazing. This is a limited time offer that will end without notice. It's a free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad. Give them a call no matter where you're located. It's a great offer. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, we'll take our first break at the 8 o'clock hour. Steve is here. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this.
Hello.
Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey there. We have just over a minute. We're going to be here live on Friday. Do you want to call in on Friday?
Yeah, I could do Friday.
Okay, I'm gonna conference you in with Steve. We got just over a minute. Okay, hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we got Barry conferenced in. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Good morning, Steve.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing, Barry?
I'm great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah,
It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, we got about 45 seconds.
Great year coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 30 seconds. All right, it's our final time checking in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group for 2025. Attorney Barry Siegel, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to both of you. Happy New Year to the audience, and I wish everyone a fun and safe celebration. Excuse me, for New Year's Eve and a great beginning to 2026.
Absolutely.
And from a perspective of what we do at the Siegel Law Group, we're a law firm that does estate planning, elder law, and probate. You know, of course, the conversation would be that it's time for the New Year's resolutions for 2026. 25 is now behind us. So if you are interested in making sure that your family is well taken care of, making sure that you get a healthy report card for your family when it comes to being protected, when it comes to having peace of mind, when it comes to having all of your goals taken care of so the right people get your stuff, the wrong people don't, and you don't run out of money during your lifetime due to the cost of long-term care, making sure you have all the right people making decisions for you, then, you know, that should be near the top of your New Year's resolutions.
But really, the most important thing about any of these resolutions is taking action. And you can take action just by either attending one of our upcoming estate planning or Medicaid workshops, or by calling our office and scheduling a free consultation.
Absolutely. And there's no better time than to do that now. Because, over the holiday period, you're seeing people in the family you may only see once a year, every 5 years, and your family situation has probably changed. There's been marriages, children, grandchildren born. Financial situations have changed for people in the family. Deaths, sadly, may have happened. So it's that time. And the Siegel Law Group will review, if you already have a trust, a will, whatever you got, the Siegel Law Group will review that at no charge. Call to schedule your free in-office consultation, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. And Siegel is spelled S-I-E-G-E-L. SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, Happy New Year. We'll talk Friday.
Happy New Year, Barry.
Thank you, guys. Have a Happy New Year.
All right, take care. Take care. All right. Yeah, gosh, how many years has Barry been with us now, Steve? Oh, my God.
A lot of years.
A long time. Yeah, I know. He was almost...
Many years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Or as we used to say on the reservation, many moons.
Yeah, I know. And his practice and firm have grown so much since he's been with us all these years. This approval number is, when I break down who they polled, it's fantastic. Because
if you look at the news, it's figures. I mean, most people don't realize it because it's happened in a relatively condensed period of time. But I mean, the Democrats have basically almost ceased to exist as a party. And when they're finished with what's coming down the road with all these investigations, which have obviously been timed to coincide with the election, they're a mess.
Absolutely.
I've never seen the Democratic Party in this state of disarray.
And
it's incredible.
And when things next week, when we're in the new year and the news media are back, it's going to be amazing. It really is going to be amazing what happens. And Scott Bessent, our openly gay Treasury Secretary. The reason I point that out is because these liberals keep calling Trump a homophobe, and like one of the top 2 or 3 guys in his administration that's in charge of the whole economy is openly gay, the Treasury Secretary, and I wouldn't mess with that guy. Scott Bessent is the guy that got into the physical altercation with Elon Musk. So he's tough. He's tough. He's gay, and he knows his business when it comes to the economy. But he was talking about, tax season next year. These refunds people are going to be getting are just going to be game changers so far as waking people up at the great work that the president's doing. But one thing I wish that some people in the media would cover is the drugs, the illegal drugs. President Trump has said over 90% of the illegal drugs coming into the country has been shut down. And what we have going on right now is that President Trump has put in place, President Trump's maybe biggest program that's going on right now, no one's talking about. The largest cold turkey drug rehabilitation program is in effect right now in this country, because with the drugs not coming in, the heroin, the cocaine, and the fentanyl, people that are addicted to those drugs are being weaned off them because they're in short supply, they're being priced out of the market, and the drugs they're getting have very little drugs in them, right? They're putting a lot of filler in there. So he's rehabbing, I don't know how many millions of people are addicted to those drugs. And it's a big story that no one's covering. I'd really like to know, they love to talk about the price of everything. I'd like to know what the price of fentanyl, cocaine, and heroin are as we end the year as compared to what they were at the beginning of the year.
Well, maybe we can get some of the dealers in our audience to call in and share what the prices are. How they've been affected.
Yeah, we'll pretend you can use it, call in anonymously, but there have got to be addicts in the audience or loved ones of addicts, parents, spouses of addicts who know what the price of these drugs are, right? And there's no way that people are not getting weaned off of drugs in this country because with the supply being cut off, there's not that many left. and a lot of people are priced out of buying them. So they're going through rehab against their will, but isn't that kind of what they do? I don't know. I've not had a drug problem, but the 28-day rehab, is it 28 days because that's what insurance pays for? Or is it 28 days because it takes 28 days to get off of an addiction like drugs? I don't know. I thought it takes 28 days to get off of it. But the price of, there must be people, and it's too bad we're not still with the drug rehab people, right? They would know. We could have them in studio. We used to do the show from a drug rehabilitation facility, which had a lot of...
That was fun.
Well...
Yeah.
You know, the place we were at...
I remember it well.
It was a place where the doctor... It was the corporate headquarters where the doctors were, the MDs. And they had these sober living facilities all over South Florida. And they would bring the addicts from the sober living place to where we were broadcasting to see the doctors, right? To get their medications that were getting them off. And they would bring them in by the busloads, and Steve and I would get off the air, and we'd have to walk through this pool of junkies, and oh my goodness, yeah, and it was very strange, wasn't it? But I would tell you this: they separated them between the men and the women because you couldn't have the men and the women addicts in the same sober living. Because, you know what they'd be doing. So there'd be buses just with men coming from the male sober living, and then buses just with the girls, with the ladies coming from the female sober living. They'd get dropped off at the same time from different buses. And the guys mostly all look like what you would expect from addicts. And the girls, most of them look like models. And you could tell and I would tell you that they were like girls that had been, I can only imagine what they've been through with these men that were using them and keeping them hopped up on the drugs. But if we were still broadcasting from the drug rehab, Steve, we'd have all the answers to these questions, right?
It was an interesting period.
Oh my goodness. We've been through weird things with this show over the years. There's no doubt about it.
My sister's writing a book.
Yeah, well, if she wants the real inside, she's got to interview me.
Featured.
She's got to...
One of the major sources.
Yeah, I mean, I remember everything. Okay, I remember everything. It's not that you have a bad memory, but you remember things, I think, more like how you want to remember them as opposed to how they really were. I remember things with a different memory. Sometimes, but yeah, we've broadcast from some strange. That was one of the strangest places we broadcasted from, and I don't know if any of you ever came to our studio there, but it was a weird place. But no, I'm serious as a heart attack. There have got to be people in this audience that either have an addiction problem or you have a family member that does. And when I talk about addiction, I'm talking about either the fentanyl, cocaine, or heroin. Those are the big ones that the supplies are being cut. And the DEA, I did see a report 2 weeks ago. The DEA reported that fentanyl seizures, that the fentanyl has very little fentanyl in it. They're basically taking aspirin, okay? And I did get a call a couple of months ago from a guy who's an addict, and he was going clean just because he was being priced out. But that was a few months ago. And I think it would be a very interesting story. The media don't want to report this because it makes Trump look good, right? So what are the prices of cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl today as compared to this time last year? And how much have they gone up since Trump's war on drugs between shutting down the border and taking out the drug boats? I'm very curious about that story. And I wouldn't even know how to get that information other than you guys in the audience. So if anybody has any info on that, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. 2631. All right, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break, and when we get back, there's a lot more to discuss. Don't go anywhere. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. It's our New Year's Eve show. We'll be back right after this. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. Hold on. All right. We got about 90 seconds. We'll be back, guys. Stand by. All right, Steve, you there? Steve?
I'm here.
All right,
I'm here.
Okay, we got about 20 seconds. Hold on. Okay, I got the message. We'll do that.
I got you.
Okay. We're back. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are live on this New Year's Eve. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bill, calling from Corpus Christi, Texas.
All right, Corpus Christi. What's on your mind?
Hey, Bill, what's up?
I heard you talk earlier about Carter being in office and making profit off the presidency.
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that he made profit.
Well, in a way, anytime you're put in office like that, I'm sure there's a lot of things that come across your desk, whatever, that you would benefit from. But, I mean, it wasn't a direct conflict of interest. He didn't go out and push Billy Bear or anything. But I was in the grocery business. I was working for ATP, which is a chain down here in Texas.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I knew peanut butter was going to go up when he left office. And I ordered everything I could. I ordered generic and everything else. I had it over at TM, everywhere I could store it in the store. But as it turned out, peanut butter went over $5 a pound, and I was the only store left in town that even had any.
Wow.
So I got the owner came down and wanted to shake my hand. He came down and said to me something.
Well, what happened was that's interesting. You know what happened? Let me tell you how this came up, Steve, because it's relevant here. A Trump derangement syndrome suffering gentleman called me up around 7:30 this morning, and he was very upset about yesterday's show that I was talking to you about my Trump watch that my wife got me for Christmas, and he was.
I heard the call.
Yeah, and well, for those that didn't, and he was very upset that the president was profiting while he's in office, that he's got businesses going on, and I had asked him if he'd ever heard of Jimmy Carter. And then he started to get panicked and all this stuff. But Jimmy Carter still owned and operated his peanut farm when he was in office, when he was president.
Right.
And Billy Beer, which was named after Billy Carter, came out. And there's also, if I may be wrong on the number, but didn't Billy Carter receive $80,000 from Saudi Arabia when Jimmy was president too? I think was it $80,000 or $180,000? So Jimmy Carter was doing, he was doing all kinds and $180,000.
When they talk about conflict of interest, they said that some of these things that he has gained from Saudi Arabia or anything else, he's also profited from. I mean, when he was in office the first time, he had Secret Service staying at Mar-a-Lago and everything else, or he had his hotels at golf resorts, and he was charging them double. What about that?
Hotel prices.
Yeah.
Hotel price. Do you know what determines the price of a hotel room?
I'm glad you know. The owner.
That's right. Supply and demand, the capitalist system. So so there's demand drives them up. So he wasn't charging them twice. He was charging them the going rate.
Well, the thing that gets me about Trump supporters is they don't see him for what he is.
What is he? A great man? Of course we.
I don't know if that was a.
Slow down, peanut butter man. Slow down, Corpus Christi. Hold on. You said the thing with Trump supporters is we don't see him as he really is. I see him as a great man.
I think this gentleman is a pro-Trump person.
Well, how do you see him?
Well, I mean, what has he done, you think, that's really been good for this country? Name one thing.
Well, he's not Trump's. You're in Texas, right? Corpus Christi, Texas. He shut down shut down the southern border and stopped Invasion USA.
It wasn't as bad as he said it was. It never was.
Oh,
and meanwhile, now
it's not bad
in this country. People from Italy,
the border is shut. You're an old man. You're a senior citizen, right? You get Social Security?
Right.
Okay. When you do your taxes, next month, President Trump gave you a $6,000 tax deduction on your Social Security. If your wife's still alive, she gets $6,000 too. That's a $12,000 deduction just on your Social Security from Trump's big, beautiful bill. That's the second thing he's done for you.
Well, he also raised the deficit by $3 trillion.
No, the deficit's been reduced. They're paying off the deficit with the tariffs. But is your wife still alive? Is your wife alive? Is your wife alive?
I couldn't argue that. I couldn't tell you what that is.
Is your wife alive? Is your wife alive?
No.
Okay. Okay. So you're going to get a $6,000 deduction on your Social Security because of Trump. Isn't that a good thing?
It depends.
How's it depends? $6,000 in your pocket? How's that not a good thing?
Take this for instance. When he said drain the swamp, politics has been screwed up for a while, and politicians make a lot of money off of us. They have been wrong for a long time.
No, excuse me. You asked me to give you one thing that he did that was great. I gave you two. Every time I give you one, you want to move on and pivot to something else. He's giving you are going to have six. You're going to have. Well, I know.
Is that at a good point right now where we could be giving money away?
It's not. You're not giving money away. You're getting to keep more of your own money. It's not a gift. You're going to be able to keep more of your money. Oh my goodness! You can't teach an old dog new tricks. A $6,000 tax.
I was wrong on him being a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I would say. You listen.
He admits every now and then.
That's okay. The $6,000 tax deduction that you're getting on your Social Security is not a gift. You're going to keep more of your own money. A tax deduction. You're going to get a refund, so you're going to be paying less in taxes.
I was on a VA pension, and he cut my pension back with Social Security, $600 a month.
Well, $600, but you're going to get $6,000 back next year with your taxes. Next year is, by the way, is Friday.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, right? You're going to get $6,000. Is that a good thing that Trump did for you? Boy, this guy's got... Not necessarily. Giving you $6,000? All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. My goodness. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily so.
Oh, my goodness. Hold on, Steve. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Are you back with us, Steve?
I am.
Oh, my goodness. That, when they're telling you that getting $6,000 back from their taxes is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, where do you go with a guy like that?
Yes.
Exactly. I'm doing my best here, but and to tell us that the border's not shut down. Come on. If it was, I've seen news reports at the border and they can't even find an illegal. They've given up. Right? They don't even do it anymore because it's been shut down so much. All right, I've lost track of time. We took the bottom of the hour break. Okay. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. Hold on. I got to grab my copy here. Okay. All right. I found my copy. All right. You want to take some more calls, Steve? Okay. Hold on. You know what? We're going to take our... I've lost track of time. Oh, no. It's not time. Okay. You back with us? All right. Hold on. I'm going to talk to you about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Okay? Make this the year that your New Year's resolution to lose weight actually comes true. And it will with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I'm here to promise you, okay? I lost over 35 pounds with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And you know what? You can do the exact same thing. It's easy to do, too. I'm going to give you the number in a moment. They can help you lose weight no matter where you are located in the United States. There's no shots, no injections, no pills, no prescriptions, okay? No exercise required. I ate foods I would normally eat, and I didn't have to starve myself to death either. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, I'm going to get Steve back on the line because I know what I did here. And then we're going to take some of these calls. And we have almost a full board. So if you're on hold, stand by, and we'll get to your calls in just a minute. I lost track of time. I couldn't remember if we took the bottom of the hour break or not, and so I lost track, but I'm going to get Steve back. All right, you back with us?
I'm with you.
I apologize, Steve. Okay, we've got a full board of calls, so I'm going to squeeze a call or two in, and then the next break will be the gold report. All right. Okay. I couldn't remember if we took.
Look forward to that.
Well, we've been, these that last call, his Trump derangement syndrome kind of spread through the telephone, and I couldn't remember if we took the bottom of the hour break or not. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Corpus Christi again.
No, it's one call per show. I got a full board, and I it's the same guy. I can't believe it. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Stephen Bryan. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Happy New Year to everybody out there. I'm never going to look at peanut butter the same way. That's all I can tell you. I don't think that was creamy peanut butter. I think that might have been nutty.
Yeah.
That guy was a little out there. I was just thinking about all the stuff with Nick Shirley and what happened in Minnesota and all the other places they're going to find this stuff. Because an informed public is a very dangerous thing for the Democrats.
That's for sure. Yes.
Basically, it's going to end them, and this is just sort of lighting of this candle. And I've already seen. Last night I went out. I was all over YouTube just looking for stuff, and they're finding it. There are.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. On the timing on this, do you get the feeling that the timing on this is natural? Or that we're acting out basically a play that's been pre-planned
by Trump.
Yeah, that the Trump people are in control of the calendar.
Well, you know what, Steve? I think there's a possibility of that. I think it's more. I think it's more natural.
Well, I think it's more than a. Well, you're an idealist. I think it's. If you want to give Trump his due, I think he is the master. The ringmaster of this whole political circus.
Well, he's said a lot of these things, and you look at Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk bred sort of an army of truth seekers, and that's what this kid is kind of a disciple from him. So we have all these young kids now out there. He was at the White House. This is so in that respect, yes. It's to what extent, Steve? And maybe you can give a large percentage of it to Donald Trump, because it's all about.
I think it's to the extent that it's effective, and that's why I have no worry, because I think good people are in charge.
And remember, Nick Shirley was interviewed by Don Jr. Yesterday.
Yes. Yep. Saw it. Yep.
Yeah. So
and he's created. You said earlier in the show, Brian, too, that he had created. There are other people. That's the point I was getting to. That he lit the candle, and there's a lot of other people out there.
Yeah.
It's sort of like they've seen the. They've seen it, and now they've looked in. There's a kid here, a YouTuber from Massachusetts that does all kinds of things with regard to the government, and I caught his and a few others. But he looked into like daycare centers, and from 1980 to 2019, the end of 2019, over a 40-year period, there was about 2,300 daycare centers licenses. So that's about 58 per year over that period of time. From 2020 to the end of 2025 here, there's like 1,626 That's like 271 a year.
Well, listen, we're up against the break for the Gold Report, but I'll end with this. There's a whole bunch of people inspired by Nick Shirley. It's almost becoming like the Ice Bucket Challenge years ago to go to Somali daycare centers. I saw one young YouTuber in Columbus, Ohio, going to Somali daycares. I saw another young YouTuber in Washington State going to Somali daycare centers. Same thing, no kids. And just like Nick Shirley. And it's
Army of Truth.
That's right.
It all goes, to me, it goes back to Charlie, and I guess you could say it started with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
all right,
just an
listen, we got to run for the Gold Report, but thanks for the call. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll get William Youngerman. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Morning.
Hey there, we got 1 minute. I'm going to conference Steve in. Stand by. All right, Steve, you there?
Yes.
Okay, William's on the line. We have less than a minute. We'll be back, so stand by.
Okay.
All right, and we're back. I'm Brian Steves here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with our final Gold and Precious Metals report of 2025. How the metals ending the year, William Youngerman?
The metals are ending certainly a lot higher than we began the year, Brian, and in most cases, most of the metals have more than doubled. And so right now what we are seeing after hitting record highs last week, a bit of a shaking out amidst very thinly traded markets, which gives a vulnerability towards wild swings in times like this. But that being said, these swings have given us great buying opportunities over the last couple of days, which many people, in fact, not just in our business, many of the dealers throughout the nation have said record buying has been taking place by the retail trade. And that is taking up the amount of available physical metal very quickly. And a lot of the dealers are now totally out of Silver Eagles and many of the other products. And, of course, the governments won't be cranking out new coins until the first of the year. So that supply shortage is also going to be seen in rising premiums. The market yesterday trading in a range of $4,323 on the low on gold, all the way up to $4,405, and closing out the day up $6.30 at $4,337.70 the ounce. Silver was up $4.07 at $76.16 overnight. Remember last week we hit a high in silver of just about $84 the ounce. Platinum was up $73 yesterday, closing out at $2,180. Palladium lost $15 at $16.03. Overnight, we had a big range on gold, trading between $42.74 all the way up to $43.74. That's a $100 spread on the market there. And right now we're at $43.34. That's down $3.70 on gold. Silver down $3.87 at $72.30 the ounce. Platinum down $145 at $2,035, but again, still it's over twice what it was earlier this year. And palladium down $29 at $1,574 the ounce. So the markets are shaky, and that's usually the case when you get such highs and such a big run on the precious metals.
Yeah.
It will try to shake out all the loose hands, and the market makers know how to do that to scare people into selling their precious metals that weren't buying for long-term positions but were just speculating. And we get the speculators out, we'll build a base somewhere for the metals, and then we can move higher next year.
Now, when you talked about a lot of people in the metals business are really low or out of inventory. What's your inventory like?
We are still well stocked for just about all of the precious metals and basically all of the different forms of the metals. So
yeah, it's amazing
right now. But if things continue the way they're going, we could be running low ourselves very soon.
Wow, that's amazing. It's a hot time for the metals. Listen, William Youngerman is located in Boca. And if you can stop in person, you really should, because your shop is literally a museum. When you guys go in there, you'll know exactly what I mean. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. On the first floor of the Bank of America building. And when you go into the building, William Youngerman is directly across from the bank inside the lobby. You can give him a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And you can find both his phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, have a happy new year, and we'll talk on Friday.
Okay, let me just say thank you to you and all the Steve Kane listeners for their faithful support throughout this year, and we do wish everybody a very happy and safe New Year's.
All right, take care. All right, we'll talk Friday.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, you back with us, Steve?
Well, sure am.
Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a second because our phones are going viral here. Okay, all right, you back with me, Steve? Oh, no, I hit the wrong line again. Steve's going to kill me. No. All right, are you there?
Yep.
No, that's not... Oh, my goodness, I'm going to be in trouble. I got to call Steve back because I'm going to be in big old trouble because I got the lines mixed up between him and Youngerman, and then we'll get back to the phones. I did it twice today. You guys got to give me a break. I really didn't have my morning coffee. I didn't get my coffee till after the show started, which is very unusual. So my mind has not been working at its normal pace of things. Oh, boy. All right, I see where he's at now. Okay. No, that's not it. All right. Are you with us? No, I lost Steve. I'll try it one more time because I cannot end the year without Steve joining us at the end. All right, hold on. Live radio, people. If you're on hold, hang in there. The number's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And it's toll-free no matter where you are listening. All right, well, Steve's not answering now, so I'll just go back to the phones. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? It looks like I've lost everybody here. I wonder, what am I doing with the phones? Let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Daniela.
All right, hold on, Daniela. I'm not sure what's going on with the phone. All right, Steve, I got you now. Okay.
You got me. Okay.
I got you now. I just want to say this as we before we go back to the phones, and if you're on hold, stand by. I said this last week at Christmas, but I want to say it again before we run out of time. Just to follow up on what William Youngerman said. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. Although with the way I handled the phones today, it's hard to believe. But this is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. And it's the longest running radio show in the state of Florida for a number of reasons. But the main reason are you guys out there in the audience. And Steve and I are both very grateful to you. And thank you for your support, not just of the program, but supporting us through supporting the sponsors of this program and of our radio station, because you guys are what keep this the longest running radio show in the state of Florida through your support of it. So thank you. And we will be live on Friday morning, okay? And those of you that follow me online on YouTube, I will be live on YouTube tomorrow, but we'll be live on the radio again on Friday. Steve, there was a couple of things because we're up against the clock that I wanted to bring up before we end. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This poll that I was talking about today is going to be a lead story everywhere, and the breakdown that I gave you that shows that they oversampled liberals, 64.3% are Democrats and liberals that they sampled in this poll that still has Trump ahead. President Trump has the highest approval rating of any president in history right now in their second term. There's been no president who's come close. And this Trafalgar poll was set up to minimize his approval as much as possible. And even with sampling 64.3% liberals, he still has over a 50% approval rating. That is amazing. It is. It really is amazing. And that means that don't believe what you're hearing in the mainstream media. The country is on our side. And next year, I'm going to do, and I know this program, we are going to be dedicated to doing everything we can do to win the midterms. And that old phrase, it's ours to lose. If we have a massive voter turnout, we will win the midterms. If we have a massive voter turnout, they won't even be able to come close. We have to swamp them at the polls. They're going to do everything they can do to discourage you. And you're going to hear a lot of people that are even conservative who do shows that are going to tell you that we're going to lose the midterms. Historically, we're going to lose. When you have a poll out that oversamples Democrats by over 64%, and President Trump still has over 50% approval, his support is bigger than we even realize in this country.
I think your analysis is right on the money.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Yeah, we got to swamp them at the polls. And that includes in the primaries, because if we have a low voter turnout in the primaries, they'll use that to discourage the vote in November. This is a MAGA country. It's a MAGA country. And that means if they have early voting where you live, you've got to vote early. And the voting early is very important. I voted early in the presidential election. President Trump tells people to vote early now. If the Democrats' entire strategy, the few of them that are left, they're not into rallies and things. They're into early voting. And if you don't vote early and you wait till Election Day, on Election Day, the Democrats are millions of votes ahead of us. And we've got to catch up and surpass in one day when they've been doing what they've been doing for a month. That's very difficult, if not impossible to do. So if there's early voting where you live, vote early. Make sure your friends and your family go out and vote too. And we can this. If we lose the midterms, the drugs are coming back into the country. The murder rate's going back up. It's going to be a disaster, Steve. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. There's no question.
Yeah. And one final thing that I know a lot of you are having New Year's Eve parties. I can't think of any place better to cater your New Year's Eve celebration than Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs. Can you, Steve?
That's for sure. And also for the bowls, and if you're having people over, call up, put in your orders, come pick up you can time it so that you can get there at halftime of whatever games you're watching. And the best food you can possibly imagine. Everything homemade, just crispy, plump, delicious wings, and those sauces. Oh, what can I say, Brian?
Yeah, nothing comes out of a can. Everything's homemade, including the wing sauces. Wings Plus is located in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. You can't miss it. And when you're in there, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Well, it's been a fantastic year as we approach the end. And if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll take some calls online after the show's over. So if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll take some calls. I don't know. Do you want to hang out and take some calls after the show, Steve, or today? Or
I'll take one or two.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Sometimes we do that, guys. We continue after the show. But what's going on during this holiday period, this week and last week, Christmas and New Year's week, historically, there's zero news. We've had nonstop news with multiple news cycles a day during the slowest news period of the year. I can only imagine what's going to happen next week when everyone's back. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We've just completed another year. Can't believe it. That's crazy. We will be back live on the radio on Friday morning at 6 a.m. Make sure that you guys are there taking your calls. It's going to be a new year and the beginning of the year of Trump, the 2026 midterm election victory. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Take care. God bless Donald Trump. See you Friday, 6 a.m. All right. I'm going to put you on hold just for a second, Steve, and then I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. Are you with me, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay. I'm going to take we got a few calls on the line. I'll take a few calls here. This is the after show, guys. So this is just on YouTube. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Danielle. I'm from Boynton Beach. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning.
Yes. So, Brian, I want to tell you something about the fraud that's going on. I went all the way to the Supreme Court before I report fraud in the medical industry. And let me tell you, that's why it's so hard to do the right thing, because you get destroyed. Not only they destroy you, your family, and everything. And it's hard to find a job because your reputation, they don't give your references. It's just terrible. I've been through that. And, I was in the state of Maine, and people from Maine who are listening, they all know about this. And I want to tell you, in Maine, I report some fraud about the methadone. You talk about cocaine, fentanyl. Listen, methadone, there's a lot of people, it was supposed to be a drug that after you've been through detox, you can be on the drugs for, let's say, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. There's people who've been on this for years, and we, the taxpayer, pay for the transportation 7 days a week.
Well, listen, we can't have people call in with it. If we had people detail all the fraud in their state, that's all we would hear. Anywhere there's Democrat control, there's fraud, no doubt about it. But it's best to focus in on one place, because if we start getting spread out in other places, nothing will get done, and everything needs to focus in on Minnesota. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Take care. All right, let's take another one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jason.
Speak up, Jason.
Oh, sorry. Jason from Spokane.
All right, what's up?
What's up? I have a few questions, but I guess I'll try and get to my most important one. Do you think that MAGA as a movement and a coalition is going to survive after 2028, whatever happens?
Of course.
Okay. Do you think that the momentum is slowing down?
Nope.
Of MAGA?
Nope. It's growing.
You don't? Okay. So
it's growing.
What I'm noticing. Well, okay. It's. I hear you. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because I wanted to bring up this fracture in the conservative movement right now, which is this Tucker Carlson, Fuentes, Candace Owens phenomenon.
That's not the MAGA movement. Nick Fuentes is a Fed who comes across as a white supremacist. Tucker Carlson's always been a never Trumper, and Candace Owens has been a never Trumper. She started out as a never Trumper, became MAGA for business gains, and then she went against Trump 2 years ago. Those are not MAGA people. There's no fracture.
Well, I didn't say they were MAGA. They are. I said that they were a fracture in the conservative movement.
No, there's no fracture there.
Are you a fracture in the conservative movement?
I'm a conservative.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think of Tucker Carlson?
What do I think of Tucker Carlson?
Is there an echo in there?
I'm sympathetic towards the idea. What? I'm sympathetic towards the idea that raising perfectly valid questions against Israel isn't anti-Semitism.
Oh, so you're a Nazi, you're saying?
I mean, no. I think that asking questions is perfectly valid. I have no problem with Jews at all.
Oh, I could tell. Steve, why are these people always concerned about U.S. aid to Israel, but they never complain about U.S. aid to any other country like South Korea or Japan or something? It's always Israel.
Of course, this caller is on the payroll.
Yeah.
Is that it, sir?
Is that it? I genuinely want to know if you guys think that this growing movement of
there's no growing movement
conservatives is going to allow
Israel
MAGA to survive.
There's nothing you said is true. There's no fracture, and there's no Israel first conservatism.
Did you see the TP USA event where Ben Shapiro called out all of these people?
So what?
Did you see the TP USA event?
Yeah, I saw it. Turning Point. Yeah, I saw it. So what?
People. Okay. How could you see the completely contradictory presentation by several of these different people over the course of several days?
You're talking about 5 or 6 people, a movement that is many millions strong. You're talking about 5 or 6 narcissistic people.
Strong on different sides. These are different layers of conservatism.
We were on the program today. On the program today, I talked quite a bit about this Trafalgar poll. It's a poll that has 64.3% Democrat liberals in the poll, and Trump has an approval rating nationally of over 50%. Trump's fine.
Caller, what do you think? Caller, what do you think of Trump?
What do I think? I voted for him. I voted for him.
What did I ask you?
What do I think of him? I want him to succeed.
You do?
To succeed. Yes.
Yeah.
I want him to succeed. I'm not necessarily okay with everything we've done in Venezuela. I don't like that Ukraine-Russia isn't over with yet. I don't like that Israel-Gaza isn't over with yet.
What do you mean you don't like that? President Trump? Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
You just got finished listing everything that Trump stands for, and you're against it.
Exactly, but he's MAGA.
I want to see Trump
conservative. You're not a conservative.
Should be entirely dependent on Trump's results, shouldn't it? He should have to.
You're not a conservative. You're not a conservative.
You said you don't like what he did in Venezuela. Drug importation is down. Excuse me. Illegal drug importation from Venezuela is down 91% because of what President Trump's doing. If you're against that, you're not conservative.
The murder rate is down. I want to have
this conversation. You guys are accusing me. I'm asking legitimate questions. I don't see what the problem is.
We're giving you a legitimate answer. So what's the problem?
Conservative. I just said I voted for Trump and I wanted to see him succeed.
We don't believe you.
He should have to earn my vote based on results, right?
You're a liar.
What am I lying about? What's my motivation?
I think you dislike Trump and you're trying to discredit him and trying to pretend that you're neutral. I started the conversation by asking you guys whether or not you thought that MAGA would survive. Why would I ask that unless I was inherently trying to justify MAGA in some way? I don't think MAGA is going to survive if J.D. Vance wins. I don't think it will. And that's because why didn't you just call it and say that? Instead of pretending it's rhetorical question.
I don't think anybody could do the same job, including J.D.
Well, J.D. Vance also supports Israel, which you despise.
In fact, all the things you mentioned,
I think there are some interesting questions we should be asking.
Oh, really? You want to ask Jews questions? Steve's a Jew. Ask a question. What's the most important question to ask Jews?
Currently, the most important question to ask Jews? Why do Jews have a dual allegiance in the United States?
Do you have a dual allegiance, Steve? Steve's a Jew. Ask Steve.
Jews have right of return to Israel. Americans don't have that. We don't have anywhere else to go if America goes.
I don't think. Can you can't even see when we do the show off air. You can cuss. See that? You got a Jew on the line here. Steve's a Jew. Don't just throw out questions. Ask him. Do you have dual loyalty, Steve, to Israel and America?
I'm loyal to America when we're right, and I support Trump.
Yeah.
Who also supports America and Israel when they're right.
Ryan's question. You didn't answer. He didn't. Your guest didn't answer Ryan's question.
He's not yet. He thinks you have dual loyalty, Steve. That you're loyal to Israel and the United States.
Well, I didn't assume that about Steve. I assumed that about Zionist Jews. I don't know Steve.
Zionist Jews. What's the difference between a Zionist Jew and just a Jew? Do you know? What's the difference?
A Zionist is somebody that believes in greater Israel supremacy, for sure.
No.
No.
No
one's ever going to confuse you with a Trump supporter. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah. All right. Thanks for your call.
Anyway, good try. Good try.
All right. Let's take one more. This is. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You're on the air. Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So the last guy you had on there, the America First guy.
He wasn't an America First guy. He was an anti-Semite. He wasn't an America First guy. Yes.
Well, you seem to be like the Trump never goes wrong type of crowd here, aren't you?
Well, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Well, he's on Epstein Island, and you're calling Nick
he's
Fuentes
never been to
a
Epstein.
Fed?
He's never been to Epstein Island.
You're wearing the hat of someone that's been on the Epstein list more than anybody else.
President Trump was never at Epstein
Island.
Island.
Nick Fuentes is a Fed, the guy that can't have a bank account.
Yes.
Yeah, and do you know why? What they call anti-Semitism? Like, do you have any idea? What makes me an anti-Semite? Because I agree 100% with what the other guy just said.
Your hatred of Jews.
My hatred of Jews. No, I'm mad because Jews are almost just under 2% of the population, but they have control of, like...